Good to go. Perfect. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Effingham County Board of Commissioners regular meeting agenda, May 19th, 2026. The time is now 5:07 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Floyd,
Here.
Commissioner Burdette,
Here.
Chairman Ron,
Here.
Commissioner Deloach,
Here.
Commissioner Helmley. Here. Commissioner Kiefer.
Here.
You have a full quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Mind introducing our invocation, please?
Yes, sir. Tonight we have Pastor Dave Steyer of Bible Lutheran Church in Rincon, Georgia. Pastor Dave began his ministry in 1995 in a northern suburb of Detroit, Michigan. Bible marks the fourth church he has served during his nearly 30-year ministerial career, which was uniquely enriched by his previous experience as an executive chef and small business owner. He loves serving this community and plans to remain at Bible for the remainder of his ministry journey. At the core of Pastor Dave's philosophy is the belief that ministry is all about relationships. Because he knows these connections take time to build, he cherishes and actively nourishes them for the long term. Pastor Dave and his wife Dana are blessed with 3 sons and 3 granddaughters. Together, they love hitting the open road on their motorcycles or in their Miata. Their favorite pastimes include camping, fishing, and rooting for the Lions, the U of M football, and the Red Wings hockey. Please help me welcome Pastor Dave Steyer.
Thank you. We'll start with a reading from Proverbs chapter 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Now, these 2 verses are among the most beloved and practical promises in the book of Proverbs. They offer a clear roadmap for navigating life's uncertainties, decisions, and challenges. Trust in the Lord with all your heart calls for wholehearted, undivided reliance on God. Now, this isn't partial trust or trust only when things make sense. It means choosing to believe God's character and promises even when the circumstances look confusing or difficult. Lean not on your own understanding warns against natural human tendency to depend solely on our logic, our past experiences, or even our limited perspective. Our understanding is finite and is often flawed, but God's wisdom is infinite and perfect. And in all your ways, submit to him, or as some translations say, acknowledge him. It means inviting God into every area of life, not just the spiritual parts, but our work, our relationships, our finances, health, plans, and daily decisions. Submission here is active. It's seeking his will through prayer, scripture, and obedience. This beautiful promise is that he will make our paths straight. God doesn't always remove the obstacles or make our journey easy, but he straightens what would otherwise be crooked, confusing, or detour-filled. He provides direction, protection, and our ultimate purpose. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as this county board gathers today, we acknowledge our need for wisdom greater than our own. The decisions made in this room affect families, businesses, and neighbors across our community. Give us hearts that trust you above personal agendas. Grant clarity of mind, humility in decision, and a shared commitment to serve with integrity and justice. Help us listen well, speak truthfully, and work together for the common good. May the outcomes of this meeting bring peace, prosperity, and a blessing for the people that are represented. Guide our steps, align our priorities with what is right, and let your peace rest over these proceedings. Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now we'll move into item 5, our agenda approval. I understand there's some changes to our agenda, and I have a few I want recommended I want to do as well.
Okay, so, yes, sir, we have a few changes. For the first one, it's gonna be under unfinished business. Item number 2, consideration to approve the intergovernmental agreement with Statesboro Regional Library Services. This item has been postponed by staff to June 2nd. Under unfinished business, items number 6 and 9 will be heard during the planning board session, just to make note of that.
Okay.
Also, we have an addition of new business number 9. Consideration to approve a memorandum of understanding between Effingham County, Georgia and Statesboro Public Regional Libraries. There's also, under unfinished business, the applicant has requested that this item be withdrawn, unfinished business number 1 and 2.
Hold on, I'm confused on the library item.
It was just added in. It wasn't posted, right? Or in the
Right,
the
so,
original posting in the paper and all that, so.
It's a different MOU. I think the original one was the intergovernmental agreement between both entities. That was postponed until June 2nd.
Okay.
This is just simply an MOU till the end of the operating year, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's correct. It's an interim agreement, basically.
Okay. And you said new business, which ones?
so unfinished business, the withdrawn items?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Unfinished business items number 1 and 2 have been withdrawn at the applicant's request.
Okay. Maybe I messed up here.
All right, so unfinished business
Unfinished
1 and
business,
2 withdrawn.
1 and 2 withdrawn. Which one moved to June 2nd?
That would be
3?
unfinished business number,
3.
Okay.
Oh, 3,
Sorry, I
sorry.
missed 3, okay.
yeah.
All right, and then the items 6 through 9 that we're moving to planning, are we just gonna combine them in to,
Yeah,
items 3 and, 3 through 6?
and so, since they were already under unfinished business, would that make them 1A, 2B, all of those? I guess so. I guess so. So,
Because it appears that we have 4 of the same thing here.
Oh, yeah, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
3, 4, 5, and 6 should be reflected with,
Yeah.
One of those is a conditional use, the
yeah,
other
one
is
should
a
be,
variance.
it's like Javed Mahadi.
Akila, does one of you know?
Mahadidi. Bright Auto World is not listed in the planning section here.
Okay.
So should,
We can put that one at 11, or,
come on,
yeah, let's-
It almost looks like they're just worded different.
because I see parcel 6 and parcel 4, so there's different wordings on it.
Under unfinished business, item number 6 and 7 was for Bright Auto World,
Uh-huh.
and that is going to be moved to the planning board item. It's just not reflected
Yeah,
on
and
the
then,
agenda.
yeah, and then if you look at the planning board items 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're identical.
no, they're not.
They're not?
No, 3 is conditional use and 5 is a variance.
Okay,
And then it
gotcha.
has the second readings are the other 2.
So
And
do
then-
we want to consolidate these all into one, or do
I think
we
they're
want-
all in one discussion, probably.
Yes, sir.
I would
Okay.
think.
So how do we want to put them in order then, is what I'm asking?
It's going to start
I
with
mean,
unfinished business, that was number 8 and 9 is going to go in front of item number 3.
Mariah.
Okay,
Um,
so 8 and 9.
Hello?
Hello. Hey, Steph.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm just getting audio and I apologize for the interruption. But what needs to happen is those unfinished business items are to be discussed with the items for Mr. Lute under planning board.
Okay.
They're ordered the way that they should be ordered under unfinished business, but you'll have the discussion with the items on planning board,
Okay.
and then an individual vote.
All right. So there's nothing for the Bright Auto World under planning board presently.
We're just moving it to the planning board agenda.
You're gonna discuss it, right, during the planning board segment of the agenda. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so number 6 and 7 can move anywhere in planning board because it doesn't pertain to anything existing in planning board.
That's correct, Commissioner Kiefer.
Okay, so that's where I was confused. There's not.
Yeah, we could,
Right, they don't have the application for
It has nowhere
conditional
to-
use and all that stuff
Yeah.
in here, okay. Yeah, got it. Okay, we'll just hear them consecutively then, so we'll move them, 6 and 7. We'll move, directly behind the second reading of 4, is that? Excuse me, after,
That's what we're gonna put that after 2. That should become before.
The DMARC loop, yes, sir.
Bright Auto World should be before Deepmark.
Bright Auto World should be,
Yes, sir.
so we can move it to, what,
We can
2.5?
hear it first.
Only, we should get Chad out of the way first, and then we'll hear 6 and 7 after we hear Chad then.
So where are we moving it?
So basically in between, the second reading of Chad Brennan and the public hearing of Ditmar Lute will be items 6 and 7. Okay.
All right, this is aggravating.
You just follow my lead.
6 and 7 is behind 2.
That's correct. Then 8 and 9.
6 is a second reading though, right? Okay.
Did I get that right?
No, 6 is,
5 and 6 go together, right?
no, 6
No.
and 7.
Unfinished business
Unfinished
is what
business,
they're
6 and
looking
Oh,
at.
I'm on
Yeah.
planning board.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you,
confusing.
it is.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna let y'all figure it out.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why I said,
Yeah.
just follow my lead.
I'll just follow
Um,
your lead, yep.
So we're gonna do the, just for clarification, we're gonna do item 1, which is Chad Brennan in planning. We're gonna move to 6 and 7, which is moving from unfinished business directly afterwards. The second reading of Chad, should that move to the second reading? Then we're gonna follow with 8 and 9 from unfinished business, which is gonna be all kind of comboed into one in this public hearing, portion here of 3, 4, 5, and 6.
6, 7, 8, 9.
6, 7, 7, 8, and 9 is going
So
to
it kind of looks like
planning.
this. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9 unfinished. Then these right here.
I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, you tell us which one it is we're talking
This
about.
Yeah, whatever I read, how about that?
That's right.
Okay. With that perfectly clear statement, is anyone willing to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda with the said changes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Uh,
Unopposed, motion carries. Moving to the minutes.
I'll not be voting on this, I wasn't at the last meeting.
Okay. Does anyone have any concerns of our previous meeting minutes? If not, I'll
I'll make
entertain
it.
a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Public comments. Public comment shall pertain to agenda items only. Should you wish to make remarks, clearly state your full name into the microphone before commencing to speak. Correspondence. The agenda packet for this meeting is posted on the county's website. Any additional documentation presented at the meeting shall be submitted to the clerk for receipt, recording, and distribution to the board. Item number 9 is a presentation. I understand Effingham Health Systems is here to present. Do we have them present?
I don't think they're here.
Okay.
Give Susan more time.
All right. Ms. Kraut, we have you next for an appearance by Susan Kraut, Effingham Chamber President and CEO.
Yes, thank you. I'm a little challenged on the vertical side. Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, and staff. I appreciate the invitation to come and speak to you this evening about the continued partnership between Effingham County and the Chamber of Commerce. I really want to take this opportunity to emphasize the strength of the relationship between the Chamber leadership and the county leadership overall. From my perspective, over the past 2 years, the relationship between the Chamber and the county has been exceptionally collaborative and productive, and that matters. It benefits our business community, it benefits our residents, our municipalities, our economic development efforts, and the overall reputation of Effingham County. The pace of growth and activity across this community right now, as everyone here knows, is absolutely tremendous. There are constantly projects, announcements, events, partnerships, and opportunities moving simultaneously, and that is ultimately a reflection of the positive momentum of this county and everyone before me today. The Chamber values being part of that momentum, whether it's helping amplify major announcements, supporting ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, promoting local investment, or helping tell Effingham County's story across our region and throughout Effingham County. We view ourselves as a collaborative partner to the county and all of our local governments. I appreciate the ongoing communication and coordination that already exists between our organizations and the willingness on all sides to continue strengthening that partnership moving forward. Growing pains bring growing pains, and we're doing our best to help iron out any snafus or miscommunications that we might have as a dedicated effort to truly be partners in business growth and stability in Effingham County. At the end of the day, I think everyone involved shares the same goal, making sure the good work happening in Effingham County is seen, celebrated, and communicated well. So I appreciate your invitation to come and speak to this today. I appreciate our relationship with Jake and Jen specifically, and again, that the Chamber is now, I believe, part of your SOP with communications, and that means a lot to us. It really elevates us to a place that we've been working very hard to get to, and I very much appreciate it. That is all.
Thank you.
Did you have any suggestions for better communication? 'Cause I know one of the things I was concerned with was, our lack of communication or collaboration on some of the ribbon cuttings and things like that.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons
Yeah.
I asked her to
Yeah.
and talk to
Yeah,
David
Roger,
about that.
brought up he'd like, county representation to have the opportunity to go to these, and submitted. I know I received a lot of communication from her, as well. But maybe just a suggestion, maybe just a formal calendar invite or something like that. moving
Something like
forward would
that,
be-
where, if it's in our district, then
Yeah.
you got first dibs. You should
Absolutely.
If it's in our district, I would want to show up. But if I couldn't show up, then maybe District 3 or somebody else could stand in for us if I'm out of town, or as long as we have some.
100%.
But our chairman gets to be at all of them.
Yeah, I get
Yes,
you all.
the Chamber's
The
required.
chairman could be there.
The
at
chairman's
everyone.
required at
I'll
all
be
of
there.
them.
I mean, they
And
might
you
not
can be
want me in
there.
their pictures, but I'll
Yes,
be there.
and that
What
is something internally with Jake and your communications team and our team, especially Amy, our executive assistant. Jake and Jen have been, like I said, nice enough to make us part of their SOP whenever it comes to county groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, et cetera, which is huge. And we're going to do that in exchange because it's fundamentally important, foundationally at this point. And isn't something that's been held as a priority all these years as I understand it. Granted, I'm only 2 years here. But that is a very high priority between your communications team and our team at the Chamber.
Let's loop in Stephanie as well.
Oh, yeah.
She keeps us in line and
Yep.
informed. So
Absolutely.
if we can keep her, maybe, allow her to, or you work through her or whatever's easiest, just as long as she's CC'd on everything.
She's an
that'd be great.
excellent partner in the process, as is Miss Marie Todd.
Yeah, bottom line, I just want one of us there at all of these, 'cause I know how hard it is to get something off the ground. I'm sure it's appreciated if somebody can show up.
Yeah, oh, 100%. The businesses love nothing more than to see their commissioner and municipal representatives where, yeah,
Which we had
absolutely.
some at the last one, thankfully. And
Yes, and I'm grateful that y'all want to do that. That's a turning tide, so I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan.
All right, we're moving into item 3 here. We have an honor award presentation.
If you'll stand right here for me. Right in front. Hello, Commissioners.
Hello.
Today, I hold in my hand the Effingham County Honor Award, a distinction that is not given lightly and is awarded in only rare and deserving circumstances. This recognition is reserved for individuals or organizations who clearly exemplify the core values of the Effingham County Board of Commissioners, including integrity, service, courage, compassion, and respect. Today, we proudly recognize Samantha Hanovich for her consistent demonstration of service. Specifically, Samantha has exemplified this value through her exceptional initiative and commitment to public engagement during her internship in my department, which has now ended sadly. While balancing her responsibilities as a member of the National Guard, she has gone above and beyond expectations, most notably by developing and implementing the Young Explorers program, an outdoor educational initiative that invites children to connect with nature in a local park setting. She took this program from concept to execution with minimal direction, creating a lasting resource that will continue to benefit the community beyond her time with us. On behalf of the Effingham County Board of Commissioners, it is my honor to present to you this Challenge Coin Award. Whoa.
Good catch.
Good catch.
All right.
Here, hold on.
Okay, and if you don't mind coming back here to take a picture with the commissioners, if you want to, oh.
Yeah, or we can come to her, whichever's easiest.
You can come on this side.
I sure can. I'll step between you and Jamie.
Everybody always gets a kick out of it.
Oh, good, are you? That way I'll be a little bit better, yes. Congratulations. Of course. Well, you can just tell him to do here up, so stay here.
Thank
We have
you,
a lot of
Sam.
talent on our team, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I was just asking her when she's coming back to work, and she said, I don't know. So we'll see. Thank you, Samantha. All right, moving into item 10 is our consent agenda. This section shall include all routine items for which there will be no discussion. Should a need arise for a debate, the item can be moved to the appropriate area of the agenda. Item 1, consideration to approve the first one-year renewal of the county's secondary disaster debris removal services contract with Crowder Gulf LLC. Item 2, consideration to approve an amendment to the agreement for disaster debris monitoring and financial recovery services with Thompson Consulting Services LLC. No further, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Moving to unfinished business, item 4. Consideration to approve the second reading to amend Appendix C, Article 3, Section 3.24 of the Effingham County Code of Ordinances. First reading approved May 5th, 2026. Anybody want to add?
What changes? Let's see.
Number 4.
Good evening. My name is Akila Wright, Planning Manager, Development Services. So staff is requesting a text amendment to Appendix C, Article 3, Sections 3.24 through 3.26, nonconforming building structures, lots, and uses of the Effingham County Code of Ordinances to revise and clarify standards related to nonconforming properties. The existing nonconforming standards were adopted to address legally established uses, structures, and lots, and do not meet current zoning requirements. Since adoption, staff has identified areas where additional clarity and refinement are needed to ensure consistent interpretation of nonconforming provisions and improve administration of nonconforming lots and structures, align standards with current planning practices and the comprehensive plan, reduce confusion and expansion, discontinuance and rebuilding provisions, modernize outdated languages and thresholds. The proposed amendment refines existing language rather than introducing new regulatory concepts. So the amendment modifies sections 3.24 through 3.26 to increase allowable expansions of non-conforming structures from 25% to 50% of gross floor area, clarify that expansions must not increase degree of nonconformity and must comply with current standards to maximum extent practicable, extend discontinuance periods from 6 to 12 months before loss of nonconforming status, clarify reconstruction thresholds, extend rebuilding timeframes from 1 year to 2 years with allowance for extensions, clarify that legally existing nonconforming lots may be developed within rezoning due to may be developed without rezoning due to dimensional nonconformity alone, and provide clear standards for relocation, replacement, and expansion of nonconforming uses and structures. So staff analysis, consistent with the ordinance intent, the proposed amendment is consistent with the intent of the zoning ordinance to promote orderly development, preserve property rights while limiting expansion of nonconformities, provide clear and objective standards. Clarification of nonconforming rights. The amendment clarifies the legally existing nonconforming properties may continue and be reasonably maintained while limiting expansion that would intensify nonconformity, improve development flexibility, and the modernization of standards. Administrative and enforcement benefits of this amendment reduces confusion in interpretation, improves consistency in staff review, supports defensible zoning determinations, and aligns code language with current practices. The proposed amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan by supporting reinvestment in existing properties, encouraging maintenance and improvement of older structures, maintaining compatibility with surrounding land uses, and promoting efficient and sustainable development patterns. Public impact, the amendment is not anticipated to create adverse impacts. It provides clarity to property owners while ensuring that nonconforming situations are not expanded in a manner that negatively impacts surrounding properties. Staff recommends approval of the proposed text amendment to sections 3.24 through 3.26 nonconformities. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Good. Any questions from the board for Akila? Thank you, Akila. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? None opposed, motion carries. Item 5, this is the second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application submitted by Margaret Sitton as agent for Heather Sitton to rezone .70 acres located at 2744 US Highway 80 from AR1 to B2 to allow for permitted uses in B2. Map number 355B, parcel number 7 in the 1st District. It's postponed from our May 5th, 2026 meeting.
I wasn't at that meeting, but I've read through this. And was there any pushback, any discussion? All right, with that, I'll make a motion that we approve the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. With that, That moves us to our planning, so we will reconvene here at 6 PM unless we want to go through staff. It's up to you guys.
New business, new business.
Yeah, we can do some
Or
new
do we not go
business.
through new business? I
That
apologize.
was
Did I
all.
miss that? Ah. Just kidding. My pages are misconstrued here. New business. Item 1, assemblage permit. Consideration to approve an assemblage permit for an event titled Color My Outdoors to be held at Tommy Long Boat Ramp Saturday, June 20th, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in partnership with Savannah Canoe and Kayak.
Yes, Jennifer Rose, Planner 1. The applicant is requesting approval to host a community event within Effingham County on June 20th, 2026 at Tommy Long Boat Ramp in Rincon, map number 459, parcel number 59. The purpose of the event is to provide a meaningful outdoor experience centered on education, reflection, and community engagement while honoring the memory of those lost during the 1864 Ebenezer Creek Massacre. The event will feature guided kayak tours along historical Ebenezer Creek, as well as community fellowship activities including music, storytelling, and food service. The event is anticipated to attract approximately 50 registered participants and will be conducted entirely outdoors at the Tommy Long Boat Ramp. Registration will be required for all attendees to ensure organized participation and operational oversight. The event setup is scheduled to begin at 7 a.m. with public activities occurring from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The guided kayak experience will operate in a 3-time launch waves beginning at 10:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m., and 12:30 p.m. Each wave will consist of approximately 12 to 15 paddlers accompanied by 3 experienced guides. The designated water route will be traveled from Tommy Long Boat Ramp to the Ebenezer Creek Massacre site within the city of Springfield and return to the launch location. For participant safety, all kayakers will be required to wear personal flotation devices at all times while on the water. The event breakdown and site cleanup activities are expected to conclude around 6 p.m. Parking will be available on site at Tommy Long Boat Ramp. Event staff and volunteers will provide directional signage and assist with parking coordination. The applicant anticipates no impacts to surrounding roadways or traffic circulation. No law enforcement or traffic control personnel are being requested at this time. 1 food truck will be on site during the event. Existing restroom facilities include 2 permanent restrooms on site, and the applicant will provide an additional 3-stall restroom trailer. CJS Rentals will provide rental equipment associated with the event. Staff finds that the proposed event to be well-organized and operational measures in place to support participant safety, parking coordination, and overall event management. Staff recommends alternative 1.
Thank you, ma'am. About anything they want to add?
Pretty thorough.
Pretty cool.
Entertain a motion.
Therefore,
Make a motion and we approve alternative 1.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
uh,
None opposed, motion carries. Item 2, consideration to approve Jason Seaman as agent for SFG CH Master Devco LLC. Request approval of a plat recombination and subdivision of Commercial Tract Georgia International Trade Center located at the intersection of Highway 21 South and Trade Center Boulevard, map number 466D, parcel number 21 through 27.
Hello, Pamela Melser, Director of Development Services. This is a plat recombination and subdivision that previously occurred in 2023. This is a realignment of the private right-of-way that is in there to align with the previously approved site plan back in February. It does increase the parcels from 7 to 8, but it is the same acreage as previously approved.
Gotcha. Just redrawing the lines.
Yeah, yep.
Good. Okay. No discussion from the board. I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Uh,
None opposed, motion carries. Item 3, consideration to approve Resolution 026-013 to amend the 2026 fiscal year budget.
Good afternoon, Mark Barnes, Finance Director. This amendment is mostly to adjust our utilities, which is something that we usually have to make some of those throughout the fiscal year, usually towards the end. Some utility adjustments are in here, and then there's a couple of other miscellaneous items, including the EMS training program, which has been utilized. That's new this fiscal year, and it's been pretty successful from my understanding. And then a couple of other minor adjustments. Staff recommends alternative 1 to approve the budget amendment.
Very good. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
No discussion. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Item 4, consideration to approve amendment number 1, renewing the county's primary disaster debris removal services contract with Ceres Environmental Services, Inc.
Good afternoon, Danielle Carver, Procurement and Contracts Manager. Ceres is the county's primary disaster debris removal contractor. If a major storm or emergency creates debris, Ceres would be the first contractor used for removal services. The amendment includes updated pricing with a 2.4 CPI adjustment to the previously approved unit pricing and extends the contract through July the 31st, 2027. So staff recommends alternative 1.
Good. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Item 5, consideration to approve change order number 1 for the Creekside Elementary Entrance Construction Project with J.W. Oliver Construction.
Jonathan Holm, County Engineer. Staff is recommending the approval of change order number 1 with J.W. Oliver in the amount of $111,952.42 for the additional utility infrastructure and pump station improvements necessary to support the Creekside Elementary Entrance Project and the associated force main connection. So this is a new scope, not originally in the project. And again, this is specifically for a force main and lift station to support the new Creekside Elementary School. And so the truth of the matter is this work has already been implemented. We were trying to, get the sewer available for the school to meet the BOE's timeline. They're wanting to supposedly get the teachers in at the end of May.
Yeah.
That's right. And so anyway, we have jumped through a lot of hoops, and J.W. Oliver has gone ahead and done the work to meet the deadlines of the BOE. And so this change order is looking to make them whole. We did reduce, there was a jack and bore of a future sewer that we're trying to implement. We're taking that out to help offset some of the cost that was already in the contract. And so anyway, I know change orders aren't, smiled upon here, but staff is recommending that we go ahead and approve this and, finish or make our business whole with J.W. Oliver. So with that, if you have any questions.
Just tell the BOE that they owe us $111,000.
How does that work, Tim? Like, if a school is building a school, who's responsible for the entrance to the school? Is that fall on the county? Is that on the Board of Education? How does that work?
Well, if you ask the school, they will say
I just
that
opened a can of
they
worms, I'm sorry.
not allowed to spend eSPLOST dollars on anything off of their property. And so the entrance crosses our right-of-way, and it's technically on our property. We've, on the South Effingham Elementary School, that's why we had to do all the corrections in the, for the entrance into that school.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they tell me.
Okay, so our other option was just not build an entrance to the school.
Correct, or, there are other sources of funds that, schools don't come up that often, so I will
Right.
say that, we've.
But they have other funding resources they could tap into to get it outside of eSPLOST, right?
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, okay. Just curious. All right, very good. Okay.
Let that conversation happen.
And do
between
the,
board. Stay
what
out.
about the coverage, you know, in this case, for example, we're having to put a force main.
What's that?
We're having to do a force main specifically for the school. Is that how this is falling?
Yeah, so normally we charge cost recovery, which are effectively impact fees.
Right.
State law does not allow us to do that to schools. So we just, those cases, the county just, whoever is the provider in the, for the school just has to kind of figure out a way to make sure they have capacity.
All right, so any services that go into this, anything outside the boundaries or getting it there is a responsibility, or has been taken on as responsibility of the county to provide.
Correct.
Okay, got you.
I don't think it's ours.
Very good. All right. No further discussion. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve alternative one.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Item 6, consideration to acknowledge an annexation petition is submitted by the City of Rankin for a property owned by Bruce and Cindy Ron consisting of approximately 114.13 acres located off of Lexington Avenue, extension map, Lexington Avenue extension, map number 447, parcel number 13B in the 5th District.
Yes, sir. Deputy Clerk Tashina Shiggs. An aerial photography provided by Effingham County GIS data. This parcel is within the vicinity of other properties within the city limits of Rankin. A public hearing of the mayor and city council to consider this petition will be held June 8th, 2026. Said property is currently zoned AR1. Proposed zoning upon annexation would be PUD. Annexation documentation was received via certified mail from the City of Rankin on May 4th, 2026. This property lies within Rankin's water and sewer service area. And as you know, this item received a few concerns from the public, so.
Correct. Yeah, we have those in our packet here. Thank you for
Yes.
putting those out.
I have fielded a call or two.
So have I.
Phil, if there's anything, I'll lead off with you. This is your area.
I probably I'd like to clarify, and I hate to put attorney on the spot, but just the process of what this means to their annexation, our vote.
Yeah, so unless there's, an objection that they're not following the statute, like if it was not contiguous to the city, that'd be a formal objection. If there's some issues related to water and sewer, but if they're providing that, if there were service delivery issues, those could be formal objections, but otherwise it's kind of, your vote is they're not asking you to approve it. They were just following the statute to put it in front of you.
Basically acknowledge receipt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about infrastructure on that, in that consideration,
Yeah.
as far as
that's-
roads?
I mean, yeah, I think it was all the above. We would have to look at it if there is an issue. I don't know if it's not a black and white issue. I mean, it's going to have some gray there.
Are we even required to vote on this then? I mean, are we supposed to say we support it or don't support it, or?
The way that Lee just framed it, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Lee, is if they meet all the requirements of what would normally be objectionable,
They can do it.
we have no reason not to push it.
Kind of like a rezoning, they follow all the rules.
Not quite, Forrest, not
I
quite.
know, just-
This is a process.
I got it.
Now, one thing, I don't know if everyone here has seen, it wasn't included in the package, the proposed project. It's just, I do have concerns on our, particularly transportation infrastructure, handling that.
But
And
basically,
not that I don't trust our city to do the homework on that as well, but
Would
I
they
do have
be-
unincorporated residents there I need to speak for.
Has there been any kind of site plan submitted or anything that you've seen?
Yeah,
Is that a
it's-
county road that it's coming on to, or?
Yeah, that's Lexington
Okay.
Avenue Extension.
I know it gets weird in that area over there. That's kind of at the municipal
There
boundaries.
is,
so-
and I believe it's before City of Rankin's planning and zoning tonight.
Uh-huh.
And I did have a lot of questions on it proceeding through that process while going through this process. And we're not on that side of annexation. We never,
Right.
you know, so it's some kind of different from us. We don't know how that process works, but I guess that is normal.
I'm just assuming they have to give us acknowledgement or
Yeah,
notice
notice.
before they
I think
just
that's
do-
what this
do their
is.
part, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
What I'm assuming.
Are we clear, though, can we just acknowledge that we received it? Because I have the same concerns that Commissioner Kiefer does regarding this type of development on that county road and the impact that it's gonna have. That road is a former dirt road that was ash, and now we've just put pavement over it. I mean, it's not meant to hold up to a lot of traffic.
And there's a bridge
Yeah.
just north of Kate's Cove that absolutely cannot handle that kind of traffic. They would have to be replaced.
And
Yeah.
to me, that's all those are valid concerns. you
And
know.
they may be discussed and mitigated through the City of Rankin's process. I'm not denying that. But I feel like I need to raise those concerns today.
I mean, I guess we could have option to get those questions answered and tabled if that's,
Be in favor of that.
what we would want to do if we have those infrastructure concerns.
If those are our constituents, your constituents, and that's a real concern, and the roads are not up to par, I think we would be okay if we're gonna be required to upgrade those roads, somebody's gonna have to.
Because, I mean, I guess technically, we have to consider the land as it sits right now and not as it.
But legally, though.
Yeah, but when it's also already going through a public hearing tonight, you know, I mean, you can't ignore that.
Yeah, but
really.
legally, the way I understand it is they're checking all the boxes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're just doing a
So we
procedure.
can't, since the land's contiguous, I don't think we can stop that.
And I don't disagree with that. It's just,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm just
But I'm
throwing
like
alternative
you.
I feel like I need to at least speak for those unincorporated citizens there as well.
Well, they'll have
that I've
the
talked to.
opportunity through public hearings as well to go and speak with the.
Do what now? I'm sorry.
I said they'll have the opportunity, once this does become, because, planning board is public as well meeting. And then they'll have the opportunities, should it be rezoned or however they're gonna do, to also voice their opinions of that as well. I do share the same infrastructure
Yeah.
concerns that you do.
But in fairness to those citizens, they really have no recourse on those elected officials if they're not in the city.
Right.
And this is not at all against any city.
Yeah, I
This
feel
is
the same
strictly
way.
between,
It's-
me and those residents in the unincorporated that have reached out to me with concerns. I'd like to see it proceed, but I'm not comfortable putting my vote on it right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to stand in the way of a legal process that both the property owner and the city has going forward. I'm not trying to stand in the way of anything legal.
Has this come before our board yet, or I know there's some history on that, but,
It was supposed to come up and it was withdrawn, right?
Well, I think it was supposed to come with it was the exact same process
Yeah.
here. And I believe it was withdrawn.
Yeah, I think
from
there
city.
was some technical review committee meetings or something to that effect where they discussed the project with us and,
With
at that.
staff level.
At a staff level, but it never proceeded to, my understanding, it never proceeded to a formal application.
Gotcha.
I'm comfortable tabling this, and we can have those discussions just to,
Sure.
as it moves forward. I don't think us tabling it will in any way
Yeah, it shouldn't hold
prevent
anything up,
anything that's
right.
legal and, going forward
Sure.
on
They
the
could-
property owner's
Do
side.
you want to make a motion to table?
Anybody else have any opinions?
I'm good with that. Just get some answers on the roads and.
Opportunity for the public to speak on that?
Sure.
My name is Jim Head, happen to be a member of Kate's Cove Kate's Cove subdivision, which, as you guys probably know, it's kind of a unique subdivision because half of it is in the county and half is it in the city of Rincon. I'm the president of the HOA board there, so they brought some concerns to me as well, mainly traffic concerns and that bridge that we were talking about. The bridge is definitely subpar. You're looking at a lot of traffic. We're not sure how many homes are going to be there, but, you know, it's quite a large acreage, so probably talking about hundreds of new residents there. So that's a big concern. It is on the agenda for the Zoning and Appeals Board in Rincon, which I'm fixing to leave and go to in just a moment. But those are the concerns that they've asked me to bring up as the president of the HOA. And also, what is the benefit to the county of, it sounds like I'm understanding that you don't really have an option of whether it gets, as long as they check all the boxes, you don't have an option of whether it gets annexed or not. What would be the benefit to the city of Rincon for them to be annexing this, except, I mean, they don't have, from what I understand, there's no extra taxes that would be charged to those folks, so.
Water and sewer portion of it.
Yeah, water and sewer, and then potential population growth, which leads to
Population growth for the city,
lost funding figures.
so more federal money that could be coming into
Sales tax
possibility.
money. Yeah, sales tax money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and I have a history of trying to support our cities growing, right? When it's, you know, when I'm comfortable. And I'm not, like I said, this hasn't come before our board for us to really discuss a development. So we haven't even had that discussion as a board, nor will we if it goes in the city. But it's an awkward position because we really.
It kind of is for me too, because again,
sure.
I live in the city part of Kate's Cove, but at the same time, I agree that if it becomes part of Rincon and Rincon develops that, the county's going to have to do something with that road.
Right.
I agree that the road has been repaved fairly recently within the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, something like that.
But it's not just that road, and
so
I live
it's-
on Mill Pond, and it's going to affect all the way either direction there
Absolutely.
with school
Sure,
traffic.
Sure, and that's as you know, that road is, I wouldn't say it's too narrow, it's fine for what it is now, but it's kind of a country rural
Sure,
road.
Sure, it's an unimproved road.
That kind of traffic is going to require,
Doesn't follow
most
our
likely going to
purview.
require quite a bit of upgrade. And it sounds like the county's going to have to take the brunt of that. So that's just something that that they've asked me to bring to your attention and consideration. And I'm going to leave it with that unless you have any questions for me.
No, sir, I believe that's
thank you.
good. Thank you. Thank you for that.
for speaking.
Good luck.
And Phil, I do share the same thing. You know, I encourage our cities in cooperation and us working together as much as possible.
Sure.
I do feel as if we need to get some answers on the potential impact of infrastructure there. Because, you know, he is correct, that would fall under us for, you know, those improvements and or repairs and maybe get that worked out.
I know if this was coming to our board for rezoning, we would ask developer to pitch in and help with that infrastructure. And if we do this, we're gonna lose that opportunity to do that, and it's gonna be on the brunt of taxpayers and.
And it would be a substantial investment of
Substantial.
improvement.
Yes.
Is that developer
You know,
gonna
for the road. To me,
contribute to the
it would
roads,
be.
you know?
And maybe, you know, the city may have a plan.
Yeah,
That's why
agree.
I'm okay tabling it, to have those discussions, even though I think at the end of the day, I don't know that
Yeah, I don't know
this
that
board's
we're-
decision's gonna
yeah,
make much of a difference.
It's gonna stymie anything at all.
In
but
truth.
I'd like to at least get the opportunity to have some engagement for Rincon to kind of explain how they, you know, intend to, assist or.
And I've known, I think I became aware of it about a week ago, and
Yeah, same.
just haven't had really between the city. I have reached out to some of them, and it's been no real good really sitting down discussing.
without
We
a,
just haven't had that time.
Without a, you know, I guess full-time, we have an interim county manager or city manager
Yeah,
there now.
yeah,
so it's
and
kinda hard to
they're
communicate.
stretched, yeah.
I think too, and I want, because I mean, we're gonna consider the same kind of situation with Springfield in a little bit, but I think when we talk about the infrastructure, you know, we also need to not only consider, of course, I think the road and the bridge are immediate to this one.
Sure.
But I think overall, I sent, and it got sent late today, but I talked with the sheriff yesterday, and he mentioned something that I don't think that I know I didn't consider, and I've got those numbers that's gonna come to you. But talking about the number of foreclosures that they're dealing with, I mean, you know, you don't think about stuff like that. But just a huge amount. I'll quote a few of them. Like I said, you'll see them. They'll be part of this record. But he said in 2025, there were 1,809 civil papers, 901 subpoenas that they dealt with. They dealt with 307 dissipatory. I'm not sure exactly. I hadn't had a chance to look that up, but 48 foreclosures. And to this day, they've dealt with 657 civil papers, 438 subpoenas. This is this year, 235 warrants. Again, 125 of those dissipatories, 38 foreclosures. I guess what I'm looking at, because we always talk about, you know, and he did mention, of course, they're averaging over $7,000 calls a month. But I mean, I have to, every time, you know, developments get approved, that's just adding more to that. And, you know, we're in the budget process now where we're considering, you know, adding personnel for next year possibly, because it's needed. And so, you know, when you look at saying you're going to put another development out there, I think that is part of that infrastructure that we need to consider. And I never thought about, you know, the burden on the magistrate court, you know, in the terms of how many cases they're handling now.
Ambulance services, anything that's.
Anything to go with that. So we always mention EMS and we mention fire and that type of thing. But that's just something else that the county is dealing with, because you have more people. And just because you have more people, more is going to happen. It just comes with the territory. But I was surprised at the amount of foreclosures he was talking about, you know. He said they repossess about a car a day. And he said the thing about what they do is the county's responsible for all that. The cities don't deal with that. That's his responsibility. So the cities can approve these, but the county's going to pick up the consequences, you know, when things have to be dealt with. So I think that's something else that just has to come into play when we look at more houses. When we already have, what, 5,000 on the books now?
Our next
I'm not discounting that. My concern probably in the immediate is is roads really more than anything on this project. But yeah, that is something countywide.
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm
needs to be
saying,
considered.
countywide.
Yeah.
That I just wanted to bring out because it's part of it. The road, like you say here, is directly impacting, but then you have all this domino effect that happens with all this other stuff.
So Lee, June 8th is when they were, according to this letter we received, is when Rinkin planned on having a public hearing about zoning the property. And we reconvene again, June 2nd would be our next meeting. So is that adequate timeline to?
Their meeting is
Have to
to resolve or to accept, to annex?
According to their letter here,
I thought they were having the zoning
a public
meeting
hearing on the
tonight.
zoning the property to be annexed will be held on Monday, June 8th, 2026.
Oh, that's the planning board. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because your vote here, you know, again, it's, you know, unless you're going to file a formal objection, that's going to come after you take your vote.
Right.
And when you do that, then it sends it to this arbitration between the city and the county. So it becomes more formal then. So, and it's all time related. I don't know when we received the actual notice from the city on this annexation.
Let's see, I believe the receipt date is in here.
It's probably in the.
April 24th, 2026. Certified mail. What I was curious about is if we did table it, would that kind of get things sideways with their posting?
I don't think it's going to have an effect on them. I'm not certain, but I don't think it is. You know, again, if the county is going to do something, we're going to have to take formal action and do it.
And have to have good grounds to do that, right?
Correct.
Solid grounds.
speak one more time?
Sure.
Maybe this helps to clarify. It looks like what I'm seeing here is at the Rincon Planning Board is the meeting that I'm getting ready to go to, and of course, that's just the planning board. Doesn't get to city council till, as you said, later. So it is kind of interesting that they're already talking about rezoning a piece of property that they have not annexed yet.
It's just the
So,
process. I mean,
Is
this
it
is
the
a
way that- well,
formality.
Does it
Yeah.
seem like that process is going quicker than it should? Because literally, I'm going
I
from this
wouldn't
meeting
s-
to that meeting.
I wouldn't speculate and go that far to say that.
Just normal procedures. the
And
way it
I would
happens.
say, and speaking to that, I see what you're saying, but then also, I also thought, well, isn't it more transparent to do it that way? So you kind of know what's being proposed because, rather than just, you know,
Right.
I'm just gonna annex this agricultural property in and then 2 months later, you know, so
Yeah, they
there, so
are
there is a
saying-
degree of transparency
I
in the
understand
way
what
they're
you're
doing
saying. Yeah,
it.
they're saying up
I will
front,
say
hey, they
that.
Yeah.
expect to make
It's
a
not
change.
out of
That's-
sight, out of
Good
mind
point.
for a while.
Yeah.
One other quick question, then I do have to go. You guys say this is contiguous. Would that mean that it's still connected to Rincon, but it's not actually connected to Rincon?
I think the railroad.
The rail line is the
Is
dividing
considered.
line, and it's contiguous all the way down to what almost.
Contiguous meaning that it's
Connected.
all
Connected.
connected?
That's correct.
Okay.
But I think a railroad
Instead of
is
the rail,
not.
the
I think
connection?
it's like a highway.
Yeah. it's
Really doesn't matter that much. I was
Technical.
just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe everything,
clarification.
almost to Georgia Transformer is Rincon, on that right-hand side if you're going towards Springfield.
Right.
Yeah, well, there's a map on here showing
Right.
their boundaries, and it would be the railroad.
Thank you for your time.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna get
Thank
going.
you.
Thank you.
Don't speed now.
If we're pretty confident this isn't gonna hurt anybody to table it and give us time just to have some discussions, I think that's fair
Okay.
to ask.
Who's gonna have the discussions?
I'm sorry?
Staff discussions?
Well,
Tim?
both.
Tim, you?
I'll definitely be reaching out to them.
Barry
Well, I
and-
mean, I think it would be great to actually have them at the next meeting to answer questions.
I was gonna ask that
So,
question. Is it out of line for someone, a representative from the city to come before us and kind of explain the process?
I mean, it's no, I mean, it's a regular occurrence when they do have an when they do have an annexation item that that a representative may show up. And so it's not outrageous to request that, particularly on something like this that it's surrounded by on three sides by unincorporated county. It's on a county road. The county's going to have to approve the encroachment. That there could be questions on this, and so that they could be here and just answer them.
And just to clarify, we have a great relationship with the cities, and this is not adversarial at all. This is more collaborative.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it may be a good opportunity to get with all the cities on their annexing on how that process works in those situations as they arise.
And maybe look at some other area, some other properties in the area to make things a little bit more consistent.
Sure. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to table this until our next meeting, June 2nd.
Yeah, June 2nd.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to table the meeting till June 2nd. Any objection? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we're at 6:10. We're going to reconvene here at 6:15, start our planning board. Righty. We'll call us back to order here. We're moving into our planning board section of the meeting. Item number 1, consideration to approve an application by Chad Brennan for a variance from section 3.21.1. Oh, I apologize. Sorry, Kim. There was something that I want to go ahead and get out the way.
One other from
One
regular
other
business
item
real
from our
fast.
regular business portion. I'll tell you what, I need to get it together tonight, guys. Stephanie's not here. I'm all discombobulated.
It is all over the place, though.
Yes, okay.
No, no.
Let's go ahead and get this out of the way here. That was the new item that was added, number 9, under new business. Consideration to approve a memorandum of understanding between Effingham County, Georgia and Statesboro Public Regional Libraries, addition to the agenda. Michael, do you want to elaborate on this any?
Michael King, Assistant County Manager. So this MOU is basically just an interim MOU, and it's just memorializing what we're already doing for that transition period between now and July 1. And so it basically just states all the funding that's already been provided and the steps that we're doing and the steps that Statesboro Regional will take to support our libraries till July 1. Then the partnership agreement that you guys will see on June 2nd meeting will be that annual
So this is the
agreement.
service, the interim until
Yeah,
we
this is
bridge-
the
we're
interim, and
bridging the
then
gap.
that'll be the,
Gotcha.
be the one moving forward.
Okay.
So that's all it is. And Statesboro approved this one yesterday at their regional board meeting.
Okay, great, great. All right. Any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Is the library board good? Okay. Thank you. Y'all deserve the thanks, trust me.
Absolutely.
Do you want to come up, or are you good from there? Good from there, okay.
Thank you, guys.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, we put you guys in a precarious position, and you guys have handled it with grace and doing a great job,
Professionalism.
so thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think it does need to be noted, though, that we're having to do this because Live Oak has cut cut
yeah,
hours.
basically,
And we're trying to maintain
right.
a library.
Just for public consumption, Live Oak has continued to pull and breach their contract with us, cutting hours. So the county is having to step in and fund with our new partner to bridge this gap so the services are covered as much as possible. So much so that we've had to even recruit members from the county as part of the reading program that they recently cut it out, along with other things. So it only reaffirms the decision of this board to move to a partner that wants to be a partner with our community. And you know, there's a few bumps and bruises along the way. I encourage everybody to read the post on the library and the turnover from the consultant that was recommended to us by the Library Board of Regents to do the transition, to get a better understanding of how this transition has gotten here and why we are here doing what we're doing today and where we are. But anything else anybody wants to add on that?
No, I'm excited.
said.
I had the meeting this morning talking about SPLOST and the investment we're going to make in our libraries in the coming years. Pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
Well, $400,000 a year will go a long way.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's growing pains, and they're going to be. Change is not always fun, but it'll be good in the end. So, very good. With that, I will ask for a motion.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. All right. Now, moving to our planning board. This is going to be public hearing. Item 1, consideration to approve an application by Chad Brennan for a variance from section 3.21.1 located at 209 Greenbridge Lane to allow for occupation of a tiny home during the construction of a home in AR2. Map number 352G, parcel number 9 in the 1st District.
Thank you. Kimberly Bartlett, Senior Planner.
The variance request is submitted to permit the temporary occupancy of an existing tiny home located on the subject property during the construction of a new primary residence. The applicant has initiated the building permit process for the proposed home and intends to reside in the existing tiny home during the construction. The temporary use of the tiny home is intended solely to provide on-site housing during construction, thereby facilitating project oversight and timely completion of the improvements. Upon completion of the new residence and the issuance of a certificate of occupancy, the applicant has indicated that the tiny home will be removed from the property. Based on the findings contained in this report, staff finds that the request satisfies the variance criteria contained in Article 9. Allowing limited temporary use of a tiny home provides a reasonable solution that enables the applicant to remain on-site while ensuring the timely completion of the home construction. Staff finds that the request represents the minimum necessary relief and, if approved, should be subject to the following appropriate stipulations. The tiny home may be occupied for up to 12 months during the home construction. Should an extension be needed, the applicant shall come before the Board of Commissioners for approval. Upon completion of the construction, the tiny home shall be vacated, removed, and disconnected from well and septic.
Good. Thank you, ma'am. The only question I have, and this is I just not sure because we had so many changes. Do we have tiny homes listed as an approved accessory presently? And the reason I ask that is, does it have to have, even if it's temporary, does it have to have an address or any kind of unit number or anything like that presently?
It this subdivision is meant for tiny homes. It had a variance for all tiny homes in this subdivision. So it's already been
Very
approved.
good. And
So we're treating it kind of like a
You missed
camper.
all
Yes.
the fun years ago. This was our first approved time in tiny home development.
okay,
That was when I first got elected.
It's been a long time ago.
It's been a long time ago.
so it does not or does need an address?
It does have an address because it's existing.
Okay. And then that address will be swapped
Will
over
be
to the
swapped
new
to the
home?
new home once it's complete. yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. If the applicant here has anything they want to add, please come forward.
Kimberly did a great job laying it out. I'm just available if you have any additional questions. I know it's a little odd to talk about tiny homes.
So you're building a bigger home, right?
Yes, a permanent home. There's 4 of us living in it at the moment, and it's a little too small for our needs, so.
So you're moving into a tiny home? Got
It's
it.
a long story.
Yeah, okay.
Good deal.
Very good. Any more questions for Chad from the board? Okay.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Anyone else here for? Please come forward. Anyone here opposed? Please come forward. Being there are none, I'll close the public hearing, open up for discussion or a motion.
This is no different from allowing, I thought you were, than allowing somebody living in a camper, I think, on the property while they're building, so I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, that was the only question I had, how we're differentiating between
Yeah.
the tiny home versus a camper or a
listed.
mobile
We
home.
do have an ordinance for tiny homes, and I guess this one's one of the few that's in the county,
Very good.
so.
If I ask questions, they're for educational purposes.
I get it.
Very good. Okay. Anything else from the board? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second?
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Moving to item 2, consideration to approve the second reading for an application by Chad Brennan for a variance from section 3.21.1 located at 209 Greenbridge Lane to allow for the occupation of a tiny home during the construction of a home in AR2, map number 352G, parcel number 9 in the 1st District. I entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the second reading.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. All right. Now you guys are following my lead here. We're going to move into the items 6 and 7 from our unfinished business section. This is a public hearing. Planning Board recommends denying an application submitted by Javed Mahadidi as agent for Bright Auto World LLC to rezone plus or minus 8.61 acres located at 109 Commerce Court from B3 to HI to allow for permitted uses in HI. Map number 466C, parcel number 4 in the 5th District. This was postponed by the applicant from our May 5th, 2026 meeting.
Yes, Jennifer Rose, Planner 1. The applicant is requesting to rezone approximately 8.61 acres from B3 major commercial to HI heavy industrial. The request is bringing an existing vehicle storage, staging, export operations into compliance with the zoning ordinance. Because the existing operation includes wrecked vehicle storage and export activities, the use requires both a conditional use permit and a variance related to the buffer standards under the proposed HI zoning classification. Staff notes that the applications for the conditional use permit and the variance were submitted as of yesterday, and therefore have not yet been completed for full review process associated with these requests. The site has been operating since approximately 2019 and is developed with a warehouse building and an outdoor storage area. The current operations include storage of new, used, and wrecked vehicles, staging of vehicles for shipment, coordination of vehicle export logistics, warehouse-supported operations. Vehicles are typically stored on-site for approximately 1 week before being shipped. The operation includes approximately 4 to 5 employees and averages about 5 truck deliveries per day. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Outdoor storage is primarily component of the operation. A business license was obtained in 2025 under the classification of loading cars, which is generally associated, however, it's based on staff review and site conditions. The current operation includes the storage and handling of wrecked vehicles, which is not permitted in B3 zoning district. As a result, the existing use is not fully aligned with the approved business license classification. On June 18th, 2024, code enforcement responded to a complaint regarding vehicles being stored on adjacent state-owned property. The condition was identified as a violation and the vehicles were removed. While the issue was corrected, it prompted further review of the operation and contributed to staff's determination that the use exceeds what is permitted under the current zoning. The property is located along Highway 21 Industrial Corridor. The surrounding area is predominantly industrial, including warehousing and distribution, outdoor storage yards, logistic operations, and overall development pattern reflects an established industrial corridor. Wetlands are present on portions of the property, primarily in the central and southern areas of the site. No FEMA floodplains were identified on the property. Any wetland impacts would require permitting and delineation. The future land use map designates this area as commercial within a commercial corridor overlay. The requested heavy industrial zoning represents a higher intensity than typically envisioned under this designation. However, the surrounding development pattern is predominantly industrial and the existing use is consistent with that pattern. The Planning Board reviewed the request at its April 14th, 2026 meeting and voted unanimously to recommend denial based on the concerns related to traffic, operational impacts, roadway obstruction complaints, and buffer compliance. Staff has reviewed the request based on the existing use of the property, sustainability of current and proposed zoning, compatibility with surrounding development, infrastructure and access, environmental considerations, consistency with the comprehensive plan. The property is currently operating in a manner that exceeds what is permitted under the B3 zoning district. The requested rezoning would align the zoning classification and the existing use and provide regulatory framework for oversight through a conditional use permit. The site is located within an established industrial corridor and is supported by public utilities and roadway access. The potential impacts, including truck traffic, noise, and outdoor storage, are inherent to industrial uses and are factors for the board to consider when evaluating this request. While the proposed zoning is not fully aligned with the future land use map in terms of intensity, the existing development pattern and site conditions support its consideration. If approved, staff recommends the following conditions. All loading, unloading, and operational activities shall occur on-site. No vehicles, equipment, or materials shall be staged, loaded, or unloaded within the public right-of-way, roadways, or adjacent properties. A conditional use permit and variance shall be required. All outdoor storage areas shall be fully enclosed with security fencing. No vehicle dismantling, salvage, processing, or hazardous material handling shall occur unless separately approved. The hours of operation shall be limited Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And staff is here if the board has any questions.
Okay. I do have a few questions.
Okay.
I do not see Bright Underworld, and I believe you explained it, that there was not a variance request put in. So
And
technically, if we were to approve this, their property would be unusable tomorrow, immediately.
It has to be filed simultaneously because in order to get the rezoning, they need the variance for the buffer requirement.
Okay. Very good. And as far as timeline goes, so code enforcement was called out in 2024,
Sir,
and a business license was applied for in 2025?
they retained the business license in 2025, and they currently have one that's pending, but it's due to
Okay.
this rezoning.
So there was no business license in 2024
Prior,
on
no, sir.
record?
Or to 2019?
Okay.
2025 was the first one that was established.
Historically, how long has this business been in operation under the present ownership?
Approximately 2019.
Okay.
So when one of the parts of the operation changed from the original business model, right? That's what's prompting the heavy industrial request?
At some point in time, yes, sir.
This was a plumbing supply.
Yeah,
if I'm
originally it
not
was
mistaken.
rentals and
Nelson.
plumbing supply, so it was retail slash, commercial warehouse sales, I guess.
But I mean, I guess this business owner, because I think you said they were just doing one thing, and then now at some point, they started doing something else.
Somebody
think
leased
it's
the
two
building and
separate-
started a new type of business.
Yeah, two
utilizing
separate
this
businesses.
building, yeah.
Oh, so this is totally something that came in that was never,
Right.
did not come before
Yeah,
us.
The plumbing supply went away, and they leased the building from
I
that
don't see
point
any
on.
plumbing supplies on site there.
That and the business license that they did apply for in 2025 was listed under, I think, loading cars and not for logistics or wrecked import-export vehicles.
Now, we've got some of these other businesses in that area too, right?
They're on.
Yes, sir. They're the adjacent property. Ms. Akila, could you put on the aerial? The parcel that's listed as 466C-1, they've been in business and operating under logistics, but they were zoned that way, and they also had a conditional use in order to operate that business, whereas this has kind of gone.
So they follow the process. We're kind of in reverse order right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is the applicant here right now?
Yes.
Mind coming up? And, state your name for the record, please.
My name is Javed Mujadidi.
Okay,
And my name's Irma Glass.
very good. Just a question for you. This seems to be a reverse process here, obviously. Do you have any other business ventures by chance? Any of the other counties or anything?
No,
Okay. You ever owned a business before in another county, or this is your first?
this is the first one we have.
Okay. It's kind of odd to me that or a business license is being submitted so far after the fact of operations has been going on.
We
We had
We did have a license with City of
City.
Rincon, where we applied.
With
when we
Rincon?
first- Yes.
That's not Rankin territory.
Yeah, I don't think he was aware of that,
Yeah.
but and they processed it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
And
They did process it, because he's been in business since 2017.
And then last year, that's when the zoning department came in, and I applied for the business license with Effingham County, and we got approved for the business license.
Okay. So 2024 zoning was called out. Jennifer, do you mind coming up here? I'm just trying to get a timeline on everything here, so.
Code enforcement went out in
Okay, what date was that? Do we have a date? Okay.
June 18th.
So June 18th, all right. And then business license was applied for when?
I just have it for 2025.
Okay, so no firm date, but we can assume 6 months because June to January, all right. So we had a 6-month lapse there, got it. Okay. Thank you. All right, and has your business retained the same name but function under the same Bright Auto through Georgia
Right,
Secretary of State
is the
registration?
property owner and AA Auto Shipping.
Okay, very good. And you were given a timeline to comply for variance. Is there a reason that wasn't turned in?
It's been turned in.
And we,
I mean, within the right times. We have to post these things for
Yeah.
public meetings and all that. I believe you're probably instructed, I believe another applicant is very similar to yours, was able to meet those timelines and all that. Because you do realize if we if this was to pass, and correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, if we rezoned your property, you don't meet the necessary buffers as it sits right now, because you're adjacent to another B3, which is 150 feet on either side. Your property be unusable without a variance to be added to it, all in this same motion here.
I wasn't aware of there was a timeline for me to do the variant and to do it right away.
Do you want to speak to that at all, or?
Yes, so the deadline was May 1st. I spoke with the owner here the day after the planning board meeting, and I also spoke with, I'm sorry, are you
Irma.
the agent? Yes, oh, but are you the,
Yeah,
you're the
manager.
agent, manager? I spoke with her over the phone the same following, which was May 15th, both of them over the phone. I set up a meeting with Ms. Irma on April 16th. I also posted the links on OpenGov in order for them to apply, and they need to be submitted by May 1st.
Okay, so one, I know we're only dealing with one here, but we have similar issues here in our agenda. One was able to fulfill that obligation within the time frame, and one has not. Okay, very good. All right. So, this is your opportunity to speak before us.
Yes, unfortunately, I think because of miscommunication, whatever, he lives in California, so he's not here, present to do everything. But we have made arrangements for, when this is approved, to change, we've already changed the unloading to inside the gate. We've relocated most everything. Everything comes into our yard for unloading. We are talking about changing our hours also from 7:30 to 4:30 so that we eliminate that traffic, what little traffic we do have. Like I said, we're a very small company. We're not like a lot of the.
No, I've been by
our
your
neighbors.
business
Yeah,
before, so.
we're a very small company. We've already made arrangements. We've got quotes for the fence. We were told that we need a fence for noise control between us and the 142. We've got all the measurements for the green clothing that you put on the chain link fence. I've got all the measurements for that, so that can be ordered. We can have everything done, the clothing within 2 weeks, the fencing, hopefully within 2 weeks. They say they're able to put it up in that time frame. We do not dismantle any of the vehicles there. We ship cars whole. We are not parts.
Okay.
So that kind of correlates with everybody else. As far as being wrecked cars, everybody in that area does the wrecked cars. That is our business. Our customers buy anything from brand spanking new cars, I mean, still with the little tags on it.
So you're operating an automobile brokerage as well?
No, we don't do a brokerage. The customers buy their cars and bring them to us. We do
And you
not
are
buy
shipping them
cars.
out?
We just strictly ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
I'll be honest with you, I've been back there numerous times because this has been quite a nuisance area because I've had a lot of complaints from you guys. And every time I've gone, I can't say I've ever seen a new car there. So how often would you say new
Because
cars
we always
go
put them in the
through?
warehouse.
You put it in
What-
there.
Yeah, if it's a new car, if it's a nice car, it goes directly into the warehouse.
Okay, but what would you say the percentage of your business is,
What's
judging
max
by
percentage?
what in the photos is here presently that we're able to observe?
10% maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we have one customer that pretty much buys nothing but nice cars that is
Sure.
shipped to Europe.
How are you addressing, I know some of them are, I mean, there's any range that I've seen personally, from dents to, nothing obvious to some, serious substantial damage to it. How are you containing your environmental stuff? Because I know they're not always drained all the way out. So how is that not penetrating that wetland behind you?
What do you mean drained?
The vehicles, the engines, leaks,
Fuels?
yes, leaks, oil, fuel, anything.
Well, a lot of times, the auctions are supposed to drain them.
I'm talking about not what the auctions do, but what do you do whenever they arrive to you to make sure that they're not leaking into our waterways?
As of right now, if they're leaking, we have a substantial amount of sawdust, which, simply from cutting wood. They apply that to any leaks that there are. They do drain, right away, they drain the fuel because we cannot ship them with full
Right.
tanks. They have to be a quarter of a tank or less. So we have huge, like 5-gallon jugs that they drain them right away and disconnect the batteries to
So
get them ready for shipping.
that, Clint, just asking out of curiosity, fuel storage, is there any compliance that has to be done with that as far as storing fuel? Okay, so if you're actually draining the fuel, you have
We're
to,
using it right away. It goes into the forklifts and the employees use them.
okay,
So they're really not stored for any length of time.
gotcha. All right. So again, are you doing anything to mitigate any environmental potential impacts at all on your site?
Yeah, like I said, we do that. Any debris that falls off of the car, it is every Friday. We normally load 4 days a week. Friday is our cleanup day. We have one guy go outside that's picking up all the debris off of the roadway.
I'm not
because
concerned about debris. That's physical, solid material. Liquids, oil, radiator, fluid, anything that if EPA shows up on your site and says, hey, this isn't supposed to be here, do you guys have a mitigation plan and process for containing that to make sure it does not drain? Because it looks like you have what used to be somewhat of a retainage pond behind your facility now. And then you have an immediate wetland that's right in that line right away, it looks like as well.
Yeah, I see you have like, you were talking about the huge like mound of dirt. We've had to put it there because prior to, well, it's been a couple years, all that was dry. That was dry. You could walk back there and then the wetlands started behind that.
Well, those wetlands are
Now
established way before.
everything's flooded.
Yeah, those are established by, a Corps of Engineers, so they've been established for a long time. Whether they're wet or not,
Yeah,
could
you
depend
could
on-
walk back there
Yeah.
quite a ways, but now it's just flooded. Well,
Okay.
with the drought now, it's kind of drying up a little bit, but.
Very
But
good.
there is a mound all the way back there where it doesn't drain into, like the back of the wetlands. And we are all asphalt, so it's not like,
So you have an
it's
impervious
very-
surface with potential liquids that could drain off without a way to mitigate and collect them on your property presently.
yeah.
Very good. Any more questions, guys? from the board?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
You know, I just have and I don't mean to bring up a sore spot, but I have to ask, because he said it was continuous operation since 2019. What is AA Auto Shipping and TMM International? Was it in 2024, and I may have the information wrong from a news report, but this is 109 Commerce Court, right?
Correct.
There was there was that case where they raided the site, and there were the illegal items there.
Yes. yes. But that was resolved quickly because we had all paperwork. There was a customer that brought, and we didn't know the customer. It was brought in by a broker.
Okay.
Everything was brought in. We had all our paperwork showing that it was it come from somebody else. We did not buy it. The broker had all his paperwork signed and sealed by that customer.
So you
showing-
sublet the property to
No,
this? or-
TMM, basically, he's a broker that brings us business as well.
Okay.
He's got his own customers.
Who's AA Auto Shipping then?
That's us.
Okay, that's why I asked you the question up front, if you've been operating contiguously under the same business name or if you've changed names.
No, the same name.
Okay, so Bright Auto,
That's the property.
That's your holding company.
okay, so
for real
that's the
estate.
holding company.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's, you do this brokerage as well as of non-vehicle?
Brokerage. TMM is a broker.
Okay,
He brings, he kind of, I guess, like a middleman. He has his own customers,
okay.
and he allows us to load for him.
So is the owner here tonight?
I got you.
The owner of the land?
Owner of the land, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So are you
I'm part of
authorized?
the, yeah, I'm part of that,
Okay.
part of the land also.
How many,
Partner
You
with
own
them.
part of the land?
yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
partner.
How many businesses are operating out of here? Is it just this one?
Just
or-
Just the one,
Yeah.
just the one.
Okay.
So rather than loading cars, if this stuff were legal, and I understand you had no idea of its source, but you would have simply loaded that into containers and
Yeah.
shipped it
That's
out.
it.
That's what the plan was?
And
Okay.
trust me,
I
that
just
was
wanted
first-
to
first
understand
one
it
I
for
found.
obvious reasons. Thank you.
We'll stick to cars.
Okay, very good. I'll open it for any, you guys, if you have any questions on anything at all.
You know, I have no problem with people making a living and doing good business, but I've seen a lot of this firsthand. It's originally a B3. It's supposed to be a plumbing outfit, not a car export. It's been a long time since you've been operating. This particular area doesn't affect me at all. You guys are around the corner, but it affects Dino's. It affects the B3, other B3s in your area. I'm not sure if they're here tonight. Yes, Ms. Dino's here tonight to speak on that as well. And I don't even have to show it on any pictures. It was already in the satellite. There were 3 trucks unloading in the road then, and you're coming to us telling you only unload 5 all day long.
We have corrected that, though. They're loading in our yard now.
You don't have room to load 2 or 3 trucks in there, in your yard.
I've got pictures.
It's an anomaly.
To provide us with that?
So that shows that we're unloading.
I saw one
Yes.
last week in the road unloading.
Oh, we have been,
No, ma'am, I saw one last week.
If you could email those to Sheena there, you have them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect.
When did you start the new
the
procedures?
yard, you know, like trucks along the road. There's trucks along the road, yeah, all day long. They're not
Well, I
ours.
understand they're rolling, but they're unloading in the road.
Okay.
That couldn't be for our business, because our next door neighbor unloads, brings vehicles as well.
Now, who's your next door neighbor that'd be,
RT,
TRT has plenty of room to unload on
yeah, but
theirs.
most of the trucks that they.
Well, we're only dealing with
Yeah.
the, we're only
Exactly,
dealing.
I'm not
No,
here
but
to-
we're getting blamed for a lot of that.
We're dealing with you right now and not your
Oh, I
neighbor.
understand
And we'll
that.
send code enforcement should that happen as well to them as well.
Here's
And yet I
the-
expect you guys to report it if you did see it.
This is a video from Dino's, I believe, that we're showing now, of somebody unloading in the street.
From what date?
I don't know, when did you start not unloading in the street?
Since the last meeting that we
Yeah.
had.
Okay.
After the last
So
meeting?
why didn't you
we-
do
we
that way
changed it.
before now? And how are you gonna control that?
By everybody
By making
coming in.
appointments.
Yeah, we've, appointments now, and everybody is coming in now. And as they come in, we're reiterating to them that is
Yeah.
no loading on the street, there's no
This is
stopping
not
on the
our
street.
property, that's not in front of our property.
I
Well, I
guess,
know, but it's going to your place.
and that's the
That's-
issue
that's
that I
not- part
have,
belongs to us.
Roger, and I see where you're going is
Yeah.
this has been, I know you guys have been visited by code enforcement. I know your people have been visited by the sheriff's department before. Sorry, your drivers.
Yeah, maybe
not
some of
you
our
guys
drivers,
personally,
but I
drivers.
have called the sheriff's department many times on drivers.
All right.
Ours and neighbors.
Right, so you're aware that I might need to get my business out the street. But yet, it's only happening now that there's some accountability attached to it. And that's, you know, we want partners in this community that want to be partners in this community. That means following the rules.
Right.
Following our processes, meeting expected deadlines. You know, the things that a simple Google search, hey, I want to open a business in Effingham County. How do I go about this process? It lays it out. It's this cart before the horse situation is always it aggravates me, honestly, to be blunt. Because if we allow this for anybody, I mean, anybody could be doing this. We could have 10 upstart businesses tomorrow that start doing exactly what you're doing, unlicensed, and on a piece of property that's not there. That's why we're here now, you know, to keep these things under control. We spend a lot of money on these roads, and they're expected to be open. We have businesses that have customers that come in and out. They expect to be able to get through to go where they're going. And just say you get to swerve off the side of the road, there shouldn't be parts laying on the side of the road. Not saying that comes from you, that's from anybody in that area. I've traveled it personally just because I get calls about it. I've been there at 5 a.m. after I leave the gym. I've been different times of the day, and I see people there all the time. I don't approach anybody about it. I just observe and just go on about my merry way, and report to our code enforcement at that point. So, anywho. Anyone else wants to add at all? Or?
Yeah, I'll just chime in. And yeah, with the buffer requirement on heavy industrial, I mean, there's no way that's going to work.
That's kind of where I'm at.
On that lot. And
well, without a variance. I mean,
and that would seems to be, that would probably be a pretty substantial variance. And I mean, I know you don't want to move the building, but I've said this before, and this is going to come across harsh, but at the end of the day, I think it's on the business owner to do some research and see what you're allowed to do within your zoning. I mean, I think that's on you. And it was a plumbing business before?
Yes.
And then now it's this, but I just think we'd be setting a very terrible precedent by,
that was my point about,
you know, and it's not even a variance here tonight to go with this.
I think with,
and if we table it, I mean, we can't, I mean, if we rule on this tonight and it's not in your favor, this is 6 months down the road before you can reapply again. Which means a stop work order will be put in place, immediately, is my understanding how it would function.
now correct me if I'm wrong, to operate as they're operating, this is the way and they have not applied for all this, but they have to get a rezoning, then they have to get a conditional use, and they have to get a variance.
Get a variance in that order, that's correct.
My opinion is a conditional use is special, you need to check every box to get the conditional use,
That's
right?
correct.
I mean, because that's a little,
We could-
another
I mean,
step.
If we granted the use, they're immediately unable to use their property.
Yeah, well, yeah. But what I'm saying is, to get a conditional use and a pretty hefty variance on buffers, that's pretty strong, in my opinion.
I don't disagree. Anyone else?
I mean, it's open for public, I mean, this
It's
is
public.
public.
Yeah, I'm going back. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add to this at all?
No, I just want to reiterate again that I understand where you're coming from. We're trying to get all the requirements in order to stay in business. And if anybody's, driven by there lately, we do not have trucks on the road, we don't unload on the road. But you'll see trucks on the road all the time for hours. And like I said, I've got videos, I've got photos of heavy-duty trucks, flatbeds on the road for hours at a time, parked in front of our building. So I understand that they assume they're ours. They're not.
Or were any of them yours ever?
Oh, I'm sure, but here again, yes.
We can
That was, yeah.
Could point all day, you
No,
know,
but we have corrected
right.
that, and like I said, yeah, did we do it prior? And I know it sounds like little kids, yeah, but everybody else did, yeah, I understand that. So now that it's like, ooh, it's a no-no, yeah, we've corrected that, and we've already told the drivers,
Well, it's always
we
been a
will not
no-no.
unload, we will not unload.
That's,
That's not even the issue for me, it's just, like Jamie said, there's no way to,
But right now, if it's the business on the end that has plenty of room, if they're unloading vehicles on the road, they're in violation, but that's all they're in violation of. If it's your truck, you're not only in violation of the truck unloading there, you're in violation of not having a business license or the proper zoning.
it's
You know,
clear.
so
It's clear this was never designed to be this type of operation. It's designed to be a B3 and with a storefront, and that's what it was before you started doing rent cars. Now, did you own this property when it was Win Nelson?
Did we? No, we bought it
Oh, so
from
you
Nelson.
bought it from Nelson.
This property's, is it leased back to the business presently? I mean,
Yes.
okay. Because I thought I'd saw a lease agreement in some of the pieces there. So basically, the holding company's leasing back to
Yeah.
the business. Gotcha. Very
And
good.
you're adjacent to 2, 3 B3s.
Now, have we, who was utilizing the lot next door to this? Was it you guys utilizing, or was it the other carriers that were storing cars at the rental place there as well?
Which one was storing there?
Not us.
Okay,
You don't know who was storing there?
very good. I believe that's been mitigated, or I was told it was being. so-
Most of it.
Gotcha. All right, very good. Anything else you'd like to add, ma'am?
No,
Sir?
no, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else here for, please come forward. If anyone here is opposed, please come forward.
Hey, my name is Dina Moore, and I own and operate Dino's Planet Gymnastics at 355 Commerce Drive. So this is across the street from the property we're talking about now. It's also down the road from what's coming next, I guess, on the agenda. All of these, I think initially the whole park was designed for commercial use, and we've been there since 2003. So in that time, you know, as these properties started doing what they're doing in the last, what'd they say, since 2018, it has had a direct negative effect to our business. We have families with kids driving down the road to drop off for gymnastics, and many times there are trucks parked down both sides of the road, leaving one little narrow path for moms to drive down and drop their kids off. It's been a continuous problem. I will say that since the last meeting, the planning and zoning meeting, it has gotten marginally better. I don't know that it'll stay that way once things progress. If they're allowed to continue doing what they're doing, I think it's only sort of gotten better because they got in trouble. And I say that because it's not like we haven't communicated with their drivers or with them to say, you can't park on the road, you can't block the roadway. I mean, we've been complaining about it for a long time.
Have you spoken to their management as well in any of your interactions with anything?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to tell who's in charge of what when it's happening. We've called the sheriff's department
Sure.
more times than I can count, and they're great at responding and coming out. For the most part, I don't think it's necessarily them or their business, but it's who they contract to bring these cars in
Sure.
that have no respect for what property they're
Yeah, no,
destroying.
they're trying to turn and burn as fast as they can.
Yes. Not only the roadway, you know, damage and destruction, which was just repaved and is already, you know, we've already had trucks that have parked sort of off the asphalt that are already damaging what was just fixed. But they've cut through our parking lot so many times and unloaded in our parking lot when we're not there. Then it's damaged our lot, to which we're now getting estimates for repair of almost $100,000. Well, they're not gonna come pay for that. I mean, their truck driver's not gonna come pay for that. So it's falling on us, and it shouldn't be. I mean, this is not what this whole commercial park was developed for. And so I think the concept of them being able to operate what they're trying to operate, it's just not feasible. So we're
Would you
definitely
say-
opposed to it.
Since you're there, every day, I would assume, or close to many days. The facility that's, I'll just call it north of, what is it,
PRT.
TRT?
Mm-hmm.
Are they more, I'll call hot shots, which are basically the dualies with the trailers behind them? Do they have those types of trucks enter those facilities, or is it mainly just the smaller operations that have those?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really hard to
And I do
determine.
know that business down the end, it is their trucks a lot of times on our side of the road.
I've seen them staging early in the morning outside
Yes.
the gate.
Our biggest problem, I mean, aside from the damage in the park itself, but in our parking lot, our biggest problem is during the summer when we're there in the morning as well, and we have parents dropping off,
They'll be getting a phone call and a visit tomorrow.
yeah, at 9 a.m., and they're just unloading. So I think and usually they're down at their end, I think their truckers park and get out, because oftentimes they're just parked on the road and nobody's in the truck, so they get out and walk down. So they're not going all the way down to unload in their lot like they should be. But I know that's not what the meeting is tonight. It's just been a continuous issue for us all around.
What was your experience when it was a legitimate B3 and a plumbing supply?
We never had an issue
Okay.
when it was a plumbing supply. And I know Life Gas moved out next door because they had issues, and then I don't know who it was that rented, they were doing commercial cleaning equipment next door to us. And they've also moved out because the commercial uses have been, I mean, we're just really, you can't even get in your own parking lot some of the times. They like park literally right across your driveway and they don't care.
Very good. Anything else, you guys? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Anyone else here against this, please come forward. Is there any video presentations or any pictures or anything that we need to see that aren't included in the packet at all, or?
Just those 2 videos I have.
Okay. Very good. Okay. All right, being there are none, I'll close the public hearing, open to the board for discussion.
Pretty cut and dry.
I will say that a few years ago, I had a conversation with Southern Rental Systems, which is another B3 in a retail operation there. And he was extremely frustrated and said he just got tired of calling the sheriff and gave up. And that's how frustrated he was, trying to get people in and out of his business.
I think the only thing that I want to add is in the process of things right now, as it sits without the variance, I mean, this is procedurally out of order. You
I guess the
know,
question for
beyond
me
the other
would-
circumstances as well, so.
Yeah, the question for me would be, even if it was not out of order, would it be something we would want?
Well, I mean, I want to approach that first, and you're absolutely right, Roger, in that. I mean, beyond the other, glaring circumstances of just, this business has a reputation of not following our rules, period. And to think that they're going to start today, when I don't even have a variance request before me right now to follow this procedurally proper, proper procedure to not deem their property unusable should we approve it as it sits. And it's easy to go in our records through OpenGov and see communications. They're noted and time-stamped as far as the communications goes as to how much time. And this has been dragging on for a bit because they even delayed from our last board hearing to be heard tonight, along with going through planning board and all that. So plenty of time for these processes to be explained and understood and applications to be submitted when they should have been in a timely manner.
And that's another good point. It was failed at planning board level as well.
Yeah, and I understand that it may not be all of them with the parked cars, but that's irrelevant to this. We have to take the first bite of the elephant.
That's correct.
To fix the problem.
Okay. If no discussion, I'm gonna entertain a motion.
I make a motion to deny the request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. That's gonna skip us through. To,
You're gonna have to guide us, because I don't know where we are.
yeah, so we're gonna be hearing, item 8 now from unfinished business.
Mr. Chairman, I would step down for this one.
Yes, sir, you're adjacent to this property, correct? Okay. All right. This too will be a public hearing. Planning Board recommends denying an application submitted by Dittmer Lute as agent for Ripollinger LLC, rezone plus or minus 4.84 acres located at 323 Commerce Drive from B3 to HI to allow for permitted uses in HI. Map number 466C, parcel number 6 in the 5th District. This was postponed from our May 5th, 2026 meeting.
Jennifer Rose, Planner 1. The applicant is requesting to rezone approximately 4.84 acres from B3 Major Commercial to HI Heavy Industrial. The request is to bring the existing vehicle storage, staging, and export activities involving wrecked vehicles which are not permitted within the B3 zoning district into compliance with the zoning ordinance. The applicant has also submitted a conditional use permit request to allow for the wrecked vehicles import-export operations and a variance application related to the required buffer standards due to the site constraints. The operation includes storage of new, used, and wrecked vehicles, vehicle staging and export logistics, warehouse-supported operations. Vehicles typically remain on site for approximately 4 to 5 days before shipment. The operations include approximately 3 employees and up to 10 subcontractors. The hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Outdoor storage is a primary component of the operation. Staff notes that the business has been operating since approximately 2018 without an Effingham County business license. The license application has recently been submitted and is currently pending, contingent to the outcome of this rezoning. Staff also reviewed operational concerns associated with the site. In March of 2026, code enforcement investigated complaints regarding unloading activities occurring in the public right-of-way and adjacent property. The property owner was advised that all loading, unloading, and operational activities must remain on site. The applicant has stated that operational improvements have since been implemented, including expanding parking, 24-hour video monitoring, revised operating procedures, multilingual signage prohibiting off-site unloading, and relocation of overflow vehicle storage to an off-site location outside the area. The surrounding area reflects an established industrial corridor along Highway 21 and consistent primarily of warehousing, distribution, outdoor storage, and logistic-related issues. The surrounding zoning is predominantly industrial in character. Environmental review identifies wetlands near the southern portion of the site, though no FEMA floodplain was identified on the property. Any wetland impacts would require delineation and permitting. The future land use map designates the property as commercial within a commercial corridor overlay. The requested heavy industrial zoning is higher intensity classification than typically envisioned under the commercial designation. However, the surrounding development pattern is predominantly industrial and logistic-oriented in nature. The Planning Board reviewed the request at its April 14, 2026 meeting and voted unanimously to recommend denial based on concerns related to traffic, operational impacts, roadway obstruction complaints, and buffer compliance. Staff has reviewed the request based on the existing use of the property, suitability of current and proposed zoning, compatibility with surrounding development, infrastructure and access, environmental considerations, and the comprehensive plan consistency. The property is currently operating in a manner that exceeds what is permitted under the B3 zoning district. The requested rezoning would align the zoning classification with the existing use and provide a regulatory framework through a conditional use permit. The site is located within an established industrial corridor and is supported by public utilities and roadway access. The potential impacts include truck traffic, noise, outdoor storage, are inherent to the industrial uses and are factors for the board to consider for evaluating this request. While the proposed zoning does not fully align with the future land use map in terms of intensity, the existing development pattern and site conditions support its consideration. If the board elects to approve the rezoning request, staff recommends the following conditions. All loading, unloading, and operational activities shall occur on site. No vehicles, equipment, or materials shall be staged, loaded, or unloaded within the public roadways, right-of-ways, or adjacent properties. The conditional use and variance shall be required. All outdoor storage areas shall be fully enclosed with security fencing. No vehicle dismantling, salvaging, processing, or hazardous material handling shall occur unless separately approved. Hours of operation shall be limited Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. All operations shall comply with applicable environmental regulations. And the applicant shall maintain and keep in good standing an Effingham County business license for operations of the approved use. And staff is here if you have any questions.
I just don't see how we can have heavy industrial on less than 5 acres. I guess I'll kind of say what I said before. I think it's on the business owner to do research on what they can and can't do, because they're already out of compliance even with B3.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Very good. If the applicant is here, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Dietmar Lutte.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Guess you had the advantage of observing our last interaction.
Certainly have, yes. Learned a lot.
Do you have any other business ventures outside of this?
No.
Okay. And the reason I ask that is, you know, it's pretty common knowledge that an application has to be put in for a business license in
Absolutely,
the area
yes.
you're at.
I got a license when I first started to do business 8 years ago.
Mhm.
When I was in front of this commission, stated my business. And I built this property specifically for this type of business. I'm the owner of the land and the building, and also own the operation. At that point, I got a business license, and I'm guilty as charged. I have not renewed it. I had a pat on the shoulder by one of your former employees, Teresa Cunningham. I hope I don't misspell her name. She, in the Effingham County, and she tapped me on the shoulder, at which point I had a meeting with a gentleman called Steve, who was at this point, I think, the boss of the zoning. And that was what I feel was about 3 years ago. And he said the county is in the process of changing the way the zoning is defined. They're creating definition in order to create the rules so everybody knows exactly where they stand. At which point he says, do not apply for a new zoning right now, because we are in the middle of changing a few things, but I tell you when we are ready to do that. There's a process, there's a time for that. And I said, okay, I'll hold back as long as I'm not the one who is holding back the traffic here. But once again, the business license is something I absolutely have neglected to refresh up to, and then my clock stopped ticking about 3 years ago, at which point I was told, right now you cannot do the changes, the zoning application, and if you don't do the zoning, you can also cannot get the business license. So, but yes, that is a negative, and I stand for it. It's my ticket.
So just to repeat, the advice that you say you were given was to not renew your business license because it would trigger the rezoning?
No, there is, and I have witnesses. We were in the same meeting. Irma was in the same meeting at that point, and I think the gentleman from California also came in and met with the gentleman called Steve, and I have the correspondence notes. He said, hold off, we are in the process of doing some internal changes, and I'll tell you when we are ready. And I was now told when we are ready. That's when I got involved and applied for rezoning. But my building is designed a little different. It's also a little bit on the other side of the neighborhood. And I think that we have done what we can control by really doing a very good job of handling the inbound traffic, making sure there is no activity absolutely on the street. We make that clear with instructions we send to our customers. The top 7 customers are 90% of the business. They understand that. They manage their own drivers. We don't organize much. 90% of the business is self-propelled. That comes in, knocks on the door, comes in. We identify the business. We know which customer it belongs to based on the dispatch sheet that the drivers bring with them. We accept electronic copies that are submitted in advance of arrival, so we know what's coming. We have a little bit of a forecasting system. How much volume can we expect? Our staff is very well trained to immediately manage the last mile before it comes from the public area into our private fenced-in area. So we have done a lot from our perspective to be a good neighbor. And when I was in front of the commission 8 years ago, I clearly stated what I was doing, and a license was issued. I got an operating license, and I started moving freight. The nature of my business is a little different than TRT's, is a little different than the previous applicant. I handle a lot of new stuff. My percentage of non-running cars, also called salvage, is much lower. If you want to come in and see what's in there, there's a lot of new stuff in there. Most of my cars are running. However, it would be very difficult, almost impossible, for me to separate the running and the operational and the brand new cars from the salvage cars. And that seems to be the culprit or the main issue with this zoning, because if I was not handling salvage, I think B3 actually would be appropriate, I believe. I'm not sure, I'm not an expert, maybe not.
Yeah, any import-export doesn't fall under B3.
All right, maybe I was misinformed, I'm not an expert, but
You're an auto broker doing car sales, something like that, then yeah, that would qualify.
All right.
As you currently sit.
I'm learning. I'm also learning by listening and to get a feel for the process. We have been doing a good job for not just for the last half year or the year, for the last 3-4 years. We had a rough beginning where we went through hurricane seasons with tremendous volume coming in, with just peak times that have to do with
flooding and all that.
Flooding, salvage cars, and then currency changes in our main markets where the business goes up and down, but we have absolutely responded to any kind of complaint, grievance, we have been considerate of what's expected of us as a good corporate neighbor. I'm willing to change my operating hours if it doesn't bother anybody, and if it's approved, I can easily open at 6 or 7, which we already have started doing. I don't know if it's in compliance, but my doors open at 7:15. Why am I doing that? The drivers get in between 8 and 9 and 10. Statistically, and from just a visual observation, very clear. Drivers want to get offloaded in the beginning of the day, so they are empty, they can go someplace else, get loaded, they can get out of town.
I've seen them staged outside your place at 6 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. And explain, and tell me if I'm wrong here. So you're not necessarily, are these going out to a public site, for example, for these guys to bid on these deliveries, and you don't have control, like a dispatch per se, to say, here's your arrival time to here? Now, they know your operating hours, of course, because 7 to say 7 to 5.
Yeah.
But they could arrive at 4 a.m. if they decided, on their own accord, and park in.
It is possible to create an appointment system where we would shift some of the arrival to later in the day. But what it really means is that if somebody has an appointment at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and they are done with their work, they're going to hang out between 11 in the morning and 3 o'clock. They're going to be someplace, and I don't know if that measure or that change in operation really has a positive impact on the overall traffic stress in the area, because The trucks don't just hide someplace and
Right. I mean, they have plenty of options. We have a Love's, you know,
Yeah.
there's plenty of parking opportunities for them for those types of things outside of the
Mhm.
side of the road.
Yeah.
And that, you know, being the bill of lading, I'm assuming is going to you.
Yes.
And the property's being delivered to you. I would think there'd be some level of control mechanism for those drivers
Yes,
if
that-
they were to, you know, bring the business to you.
Yeah, yeah, let's delineate. Some driver deliveries are under our management. They work on our dispatch sheet. There's a platform called Central Dispatch where we can manage that with clear instructions. What are our operating hours? Do not offload on a car, you will not be serviced, and so forth. And then 70% is self-driven by our customers who just deliver blind. Nature of the business, not something we can control directly, but we can instruct our customers who are managing those deliveries, who are dispatching their own drivers under their management, to make it very clear what are the conditions of doing business with our operations. So those are things we have done, not just now, also in the past, because we are, out of our own interest, motivated to do those measures to make sure we have minimum impact on the traffic, the 911 if it goes through, our neighbors, different zonings, different interests.
And that was my question. I mean, obviously you're aware and have been made aware, not just before zoning, before code enforcement approached you, that there have been complaints about vehicles that were affiliated with you and other facilities as well.
Yeah.
What procedures were put in place at that time to mitigate that issue? I understand you're doing it now, but leading up to now, do you have any explanation as to why it wasn't
We are
taken
not
care of
doing,
then?
sorry, we are not doing that just now. We have been working on that for years, and we have gotten better every year. Also, we have reduced our customer base. It's easier to control 5, 6, 7 major customers than it is to have 50, 60 smaller customers. Why do I say that? When we started in 2008, you're hungry for business, you take what's coming your way. And at some point, you're full, and then you have to, out of your own interest, start to manage your customer base for our benefit and also for the benefit of just what we're talking about right now. We're getting more and more control over that. It's getting better and better. And I hope that, in all fairness, I would get confirmation from the people that have daily visibility and have a feel for the system, that they would stand up if the question come up that says we are getting better and we are really doing a good job in cutting down the time. I mean, what happens before 7 o'clock in the morning is hard for me to manage. I'm not
Sure.
If I now put a clock and say I have 5 trucks, let's say I have 20 trucks coming in each day, 15 don't have to make a full stop to come in. They do a rolling stop, make sure the traffic is clear, go straight into my business. I get about 20 trucks a day, 25. There is not more than 5 trucks who have to wait more than 2 minutes on the street, maybe 1 minute, parked on the side. They have every opportunity to verify, yes, this is my address, and yes, I have clear instructions, a sign in English, a sign in Spanish, a sign in Russian. Do not touch the car on the street. You will not be serviced, and I'm not gonna pay you.
Very good.
We have cleaned house. I say that with confidence.
I'm going to ask you the same questions on environmental concerns. What are you doing to contain?
Our customer base is a little different. We have very few or a much lower percentage of cars that I would consider salvage. The process is as follows. God forbid somebody gets in an accident tonight, Geico takes the car, exchange the titles, it goes to an auction site, IAI, who, by the way, is also a corporate neighbor, and Copart. The sales process is many weeks, sometimes many months. Why? The paperwork, title from the bank has to be available before the car can be sold. That car has been sitting in a wrecked condition for weeks, sometimes months. We are getting cars right now in May and sometimes in August that have auction pictures with snow on it in Georgia or in Kentucky, meaning the accident happened in December, it was delivered to an auction site in January, picture was taken, at which point it then was it was going to an auction process. Our worldwide customers, global audience bids on it. The car arrives here in May. That car is done leaking oil and any kind of fluid. There is no fluid and oils. Yes, we have measures we have the same, we can put sand down or sawdust. We have handled 75,000 cars in 8 years through this facility. I can tell you we have not had more than 5 cars where oil was leaking. Why was oil leaking? We took it off the truck, and the forklift operator was nipping a little bit of a fluid line that's underneath the frame because it was hanging low because of the deformation of the car, maybe has a little front damage. I don't think it's an issue. And I'm inviting an inspection. My yard is dry. No fluids.
I got a quick question. You said that you bought this or started in 2008,
Yes.
and you came before the board in 2008.
Not in this building, in the other side of the street down there. I still remember it.
What the ordinance was then that we would approve this if we even had a heavy industrial back then. That's my concern. This property shouldn't be heavy industrial, just from the size. But I'm curious what was granted back in 2008 by this board, not this board, but the board that was in existence.
Mhm.
And what the terms were, if they ever envisioned that it would, there's 100, I don't know how many cars you got out there in this picture, but
Yeah.
to have that kind of volume to try to handle that on a
Well, it's
5-acre parcel.
It's not a lot of volume. I mean, I stated my business truthfully. I'm sure I still have a record there's a record of that. I stated my business. I had the ideas of buying the land and then developing it. And before you do that, you need a building permit. You state your business. And now I feel the county has changed a little bit with their ordinance or with the rule book, and I'm changing with it.
When was the property actually developed, and you started actually using the property?
August 1, 18.
Okay. So really, it matters then,
Gotcha.
regardless,
Right, okay,
Yeah.
that's the reason I asked if you started in 2008. So the business actually started in 2018.
No, sorry, I misspoke. I apologize.
Okay.
Numbers.
When you bought the property and developed it in 2008?
I developed it from December 17 was finished in July 18, and I got in on August 1, 18. Sorry. No, 08, I wasn't even in the state.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So before that time, it was nothing?
It's just a vacant property.
Just vacant property?
It was a vacant property. I bought the land and did my homework. Yes, we looked at zoning. I said, this makes sense. I was looking at that time as a previous operator. At that time, there was another operator, not TRT, it was a company called Checks Auto Shipping. And I must say, it has gotten much better since TRT purchased that property about 2 or 3 years ago, because TRT is a good manager. Before it was rough. And I just feel a small little operational change here, a little adjustment here, always has a very positive impact. A lot of good things have happened in this neighborhood, and now the building is finished, it's all developed. The last big building is now finished on the other side of TRT has built more. Just a couple of adjustments here, and everybody's going to get along.
You came before us in 18.
You came before this board in 18.
The
Would we
exact
have-
same board, different people I don't recognize.
were here.
Yeah, I'm just trying, Tim, would we have been hearing, approving site plans in 18? I can't remember when we started.
With the EOM, you mean? For
Well,
commercial?
at the board level.
Um,
What would we have heard if he developed this property in 17, 18?
Not a,
So you weren't here.
not a site plan,
Okay.
because that was not required, or back then called sketch plan.
Yes.
Because that was not required for business or personal property.
Correct.
Essentially, this would have just simply gone through a staff review for the
review and-
for the building plan and the site plan would have gone through staff review, but not Board of Commissioner review.
Okay.
That obviously since has changed.
And
Yeah,
the
that's what I
zoning was,
thought.
is B, commercial. Was there at some point that,
That's,
back then, did we say, okay, this is a commercial business?
I mean, the when you purchase the property, the ordinances in place then are really a moot point. It's when you develop, you have to follow, right? That, you have to follow the ordinance at the time of development.
Correct.
Building is one thing and then operating is another thing. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, it's now 8 years. At what point did I come in front of the committee to state the nature of the business? I believe I did that before I broke ground.
Okay.
Because I don't want to build and then be told I cannot do what I do.
Sure.
I'm very sure of that, but I don't remember.
do we have any record through our planning?
Yeah, we
And-
would.
and-
I'm sure
Okay.
Stephanie could pull that up rather quickly. So,
Mhm.
um,
Okay.
And from
it
the,
was just been voice recording at that time, I believe.
and
Right.
from the beginning, you've
I mean,
been in the car
applications,
business.
all that, so.
I've been in the car business for a
From-
long time, and yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about right here.
Sorry, yes, that's the only thing I ever done. I have not changed much on what I do. I just changed how I do it in order to listen, to learn. When somebody from the county comes and tells me, hey, this is not right, okay, let's do the zoning change, I didn't know. And then I got involved with Mr. Steve, and then he told me, slow down, we are doing this. But no changes whatsoever, just getting better at it, from a perspective on how my neighbors interact with me, what that means to a possible negative impact to other people. And yeah, we had the same issues, trucks and this and that, but yeah.
You might, I think Ms. Barlett wants to
Yeah,
speak for a
she's
minute.
gonna,
So in October 2016, there was a conditional use on the property for a warehouse. It doesn't specify exactly what the warehouse is for,
That's
but
before this.
one of the conditions is it meets the requirement for off-street access control, parking, and loading. So there may have been,
So,
And that it was
so it
for-
wasn't a new site. It was a site that had been used previously then? Yeah?
yes,
She just,
this was.
in 2016, she said it was a warehouse there.
I moved here in 16, I looked at a piece of land, and it was a for sale sign. I called the realtor, and that's it. That was.
Okay, well,
I'm
we've
the-
got
I'm the virgin builder.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident that our board wouldn't have approved a conditional use for this. I don't vividly recall,
yeah,
I don't remember.
something you wanna,
Yes, there was, he did have a building permit and it was passed. It followed everything that it was supposed to because that conditional use was applying to, prior to when he was building that warehouse.
when was the permit pulled?
I would say it's right at around the time frame that he's suggesting, between 17 and 18.
Okay.
But then she's saying something was there at 16.
That was the conditional use approved at that point in time.
That could have been prior to, the land could have changed hands and it still retained that usage.
Oh.
So it could have been approved for a warehouse
So you
and
had
then
a
resold
conditional use on a vacant piece
Yeah.
of land?
with
Because-
that conditional use attached to
I'm
it.
just wondering, and I don't have any vivid memory, that it was conditional warehouse space to store, I wanna say it was like high-end vintage cars. I don't know why, and I'm speculating if I remember right.
Was that
I don't
sound
know.
about right?
Yeah,
It's got to be a
it
record.
would be good to,
I can't make a decision.
I can't either. I would,
Well,
We need to
I'll ask
just
you,
hope.
on record, is that what you stated was higher-end vehicles were being stored there initially,
At
was
that
the
point, the
intent?
market certainly was high-end,
Okay.
classic
Okay.
cars. I don't think, a lot of classic cars do not run and need
Yeah, but that's a
help
totally
with a
different
forklift,
thing
so
than
if that makes a difference. I don't think I misspoke at the time.
Oh, not that you misspoke, it's just your business has evolved, the
Business
need has evolved.
But not much, really. I mean, I have.
Use has changed from what I'll say, for example, if I go before you and I say, I'm gonna serve a market of classic vehicles from 1940 to 1980,
Yeah.
right? This
So-
isn't panning out properly, so now I'm going to start bringing in a mix of running and non-running vehicles and, all that. My intention, what I sold to the board to get my usage is not what is there, what's actually happening in the present. And being the use is, in my opinion, has somewhat changed from what the original intent was, I believe is why we're here right now.
The use changed in the same box, a little bit to the left and a little to the right. It didn't jump from cars. It basically is the same. Right now, if I would make a guess, I have 75% of cars are very nice and fully operational and high value. Welcome to come in and do an inspection. What am I to say? I have my numbers, and I know, but clearly clean operation.
Volume, just
You-
that's beginning where you turn into that many cars. I mean, that your lot is full.
Yeah.
I'm just curious of the volume in comparison when you started.
I mean, we filled up quickly. We were busy with, I remember us building the business. It took a half a year, and then we are running. And full is full. We turned down business. We cannot be more. We were over the limit. And we also had to learn, how do you deal with too much freight? It's a learned behavior. You start your business and you take all the business. You have to, at some point, realize, you know what, I have to say no to somebody, which is a shock to the system, but we did. We are very actively and on a frequent basis managing our volume. We know what's coming, we know what we take, and we pick and choose our customers, because we can easily manage 7, 8 big customers instead of 25 small ones. It'll just overrun you. So, yes, we have made the measures to adjust, to control our environment, so we're not overrun with.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
just to provide some clarification, I just did some research on the aerials from the assessor's website. So there was no building there prior to 2018.
Okay.
Right, the building shows under construction in 2018, so that could have been earlier in the year to, just verify what this gentleman was saying, that they started the development in 2017.
Gotcha.
Where I'm torn here is still what we approved, or what the board approved and said you could do in B3, and if now we
Has
change
evolved.
the ordinance.
Well,
If we is it evolved, or if we change the ordinance where, hey, this doesn't comply?
Well, I think let's finish the public hearing,
Yeah.
get, everybody to speak.
Yeah, and that's something
and
we'll
I don't
move to
know
that.
how we, yeah, anyway.
Okay. Anything else from the board at all? Anything else, sir, you'd like to present?
We are, we stick to our business. We are not note takers on other people. But when I benchmark what we do, then of course I compare against people or businesses who already enjoy the zoning that I'm seeking to get approval for right now. So TRT, they are now under very good management. We are under very good management. They have a facility where you have a drive-in, up business handling, and then drive out. We are at least as good, maybe better in certain areas. We handle our trucks faster, we have less volume, and we have a different customer base. We do a little bit more new cars than they do. I think I'm best in class when it comes to not only in comparison to my direct, not competitor, but the people who do pretty much what I do, have the same kind of footprint, layout. I think I fit right in. I don't bother anybody. Yes, there is sometimes a truck that arrives at 5 in the morning, but I don't know where that truck ends up. Just because they park at my area, could be because on my exit ramp, there's a little bit of 200 feet of a little service road.
Mm-hmm.
People like to back in there. And then they get out of their cabin and take their truck and go to TRT and offload. Just because they're there doesn't mean those are my cars.
Yeah, I've seen them unloading there though too, personally.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure. Now, in an industrial environment, if we look for perfection, then we're always going to have a bad day every day.
Sure.
If we are very good and we get better a little bit every month and we listen to our neighbors, and what am I doing next? Okay, I would like to go and have a meeting with the Effingham Sheriff's Department after I spoke already to an officer who confirmed, yeah, I don't see a problem with you. I don't see a lot of pockets of problems here. But I want to go to the Sheriff Department and say, how do I deal with people who are non-compliant? They are not in my property, they're outside. They're not under my management. I don't know they're coming. Am I going out there? Do I direct traffic? How do I handle it?
I would advise the sheriff department handle that.
Sheriff Department. I also invite the party that operates the gym with parents bringing their kids. I'm a father. I don't want to have a problem. Tell me what the operating hours are. Would it help you if I open at 6? So by the time the parents, especially during the summer vacation, they chauffeur their kids to the gym. If you tell me the gym opens at 9, between the months of May or June to the summer, until the end of August, which is normally a summer vacation, okay, you know what? I send somebody in at 5 o'clock, and I tell my customers, bring your stuff at 5. By the time 9 o'clock comes around, my place is empty, no traffic, because I can handle that. What are the concerns? Talk to me. I have a very good talking relationship to my direct neighbor, the Southern Rental. We talked. We actually did some business together, which addresses another a concern we just had. Those cars were mine. They're gone now, all of them, because they were not in the right zoning. I said, this doesn't feel right, out of here, boom. And now with this buffer, I don't think I have any noise coming out of that side of the building. There is no chemical, there's no pollution, there is no, the only thing is we kick a little sand, you know, on a windy day, the dust is flying. Yeah, well, it's an industrial, so we're 95% good. And let's go to 96, but if somebody says we have to be perfect and if there's a truck sitting there, okay, let me address that and see how I deal with that. Maybe I have to have a security guard that basically tells people, do not park here, go to a rest stop. I'm ready to talk, ready to take notes and learn from people who know how to handle this. But
let's move this public hearing along.
I'm sorry.
No, I understand.
I'm trying to.
It's going to be a long
Yeah,
night.
no. Yeah, this is your opportunity.
I understand.
Yes.
Oh, I'm on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Are we good?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Good time.
If anyone else here is for, please come forward. Anyone here opposed, please come forward.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Brent Bowles. I'm the Vice President of Operations and Business Development for Podium Logistics. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight and speak on this matter. I've had the pleasure of operating this business park for 7 years. I've even had the pleasure of going across the street and meeting our neighbors, had some good interactions, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring to everybody's attention some of the traffic concerns that we face, usually on a weekly basis. Nobody knows better than I the challenges of routing truck drivers, dealing with places where parking's not available. But I can say confidently that this just really isn't a business park that has these parking opportunities available for drivers. There's plenty of times where I come in the morning, I see trucks parked on that access road that we're referring to, and that's the access road to get into my terminal. Plenty of times I've knocked on doors, found drivers sleeping, asked them to move just for them to turn around and just start moving cars, on my road. So, I do feel the need to speak out and just say that I am opposed to this.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You just want to ditto? Okay. Very good. Anyone else here opposed? Okay. See none. I will close the public hearing, open up for discussion. I'll open up real quick, Phil. Lee, I have questions about the original zoning and approval of the building and the intent of it that I don't know the answers to.
Yeah, no, I'll just cut to the chase. I think you need to table this matter tonight. You've spent a lot of time on it, which is good, but until we can figure out what the actual zoning was back in
You answered my question.
2017, 18.
I think Stephanie could pull the minutes and even the recording and kind of
Yeah, I'd
see.
like
Yeah.
to look at it.
Yeah,
So,
just out of fairness for everybody.
yeah, with that, I would ask that we, someone make a motion to table, and, want to do a little bit of history lesson on this, get some historical records, recordings of everything. I want to be fair to you, and I want to be fair to everybody, in here.
Could we make a motion to table, I guess, all
That's
the
what
items at one time?
Do we want
or-
to
Yeah, we're gonna have to, yeah.
table each one?
Yeah, table each one, so that would be, unfinished business.
Eight,
Geez,
nine.
8 and 9, and then,
Well, 9 we won't do anything with, that's the second reading, so.
that's correct, yeah, so 8, yeah, unfinished business 8, and then planning board,
3.
3, 4,
3, 4,
5.
5, and 6.
We'll just do them one at a time.
Yep.
I make a motion to table this item. Next meeting, we should be able to get that
Yeah,
information
should give us time.
to the June 2nd meeting.
Second.
With all the items that we just named off?
No.
I think we're gonna need to do them individually.
Okay,
Stephanie will get upset if we don't. do
Very
it
good.
right.
all right. Motion's on the floor. Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed? Motion carries.
You just gonna run down them?
Yeah, now these are public hearings, but we don't have to we can hold the public hearing next week
On June 2nd.
on June 2nd, so we can just go straight to a motion and to table it,
Okay.
I think. Make a,
Is that your motion?
that is my motion.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed? That motion carries.
You gotta keep going.
And we have one more, we have the
Yeah.
variant now, right?
And then the variance request.
I'll make a motion to table this item to June 2nd.
Second.
Have a motion and
As well
second.
as the
All
public
in-
hearing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
that's
that goes with
included.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed? Motion carries. That's
Now,
it.
is this gonna be held in the unfinished business then? 'Cause
No, we're
there was
still
some
gonna keep this
discussion
in
about
planning
that.
board. It'll be, moving forward, I believe there's some discussion with Stephanie and I, that when items get tabled, that get moved to unfinished business, that we're gonna note that it's still gonna stay in unfinished business, but there'll be notation saying that they will be heard
At the planning
at the
board.
planning board to give an opportunity for, people to come in, so you don't throw them off on the timeframe, so.
Okay.
I like that.
But procedurally, she wants to keep them in that category, so. All right. Very good. That moves us to, what was that, item number 7. Actually, hold on, let me look. We're all over the place here tonight. Paper here.
Annexation.
Can return, right?
Yeah, item 7.
Done.
We're moving on now.
Okay. Item 7 is a public hearing. Consideration to approve an application by Wanda Ray for conditional use
My bad.
to allow for residential business in AR1 located at 2672 Blue Jay Road, map number 373A, parcel number 6 in the 4th District.
Thank you. Kimberly Barlett, Senior Planner. The applicant is requesting approval for a conditional use to operate a residential business for clearing, grading, and land preparation. This small business has been owned and operated since 2015. The proposed business exceeds the allowable number of vehicles and equipment for a home occupation. Proposed vehicles include 1 dump truck, 1 trash truck, 1 lowboy trailer. Equipment includes an excavator, dozer, and loaders. All trucks and equipment are parked in the rear of the property. There will be no additional employees, no signage is proposed. Hours of operation are varied depending on job availability. No customers will visit the site. The property is zoned AR1, which permits certain low-intensity, non-residential activities through a conditional use process. The request is consistent with the future land use map and aligns with the intent of the agricultural residential zoning district. Due to the parcel size, rules, setting, and limited operational intensity, the proposed use is not expected to adversely affect surrounding properties or substantially alter the rural character of the area. Additionally, Blue Jay Road is designated as a truck route, making it suitable for this type of vehicular traffic. If approved, the request should be subject to the following stipulations. In Effingham County, occupational tax certificates shall be obtained and kept in good standing. All applicable zoning and development standards must be met, including but not limited to setbacks, access requirements, and any departmental review standards. The conditional use approval applies only to the owner-operated residential business as described in the application. Any expansion of the business, addition of employees, or significant increase in customer traffic may require additional review and approval by Effingham County. For outdoor storage associated with the business shall be limited to 2 commercial trucks, 2 commercial trailers, and no more than 2 pieces of heavy equipment. All business-related vehicles, trailers, and equipment shall be stored in the rear yard only, and screened from adjacent properties and public right-of-ways where practical.
They've had a business license continuous until now.
Home occupation, but they have, a lot of equipment, large equipment. The home occupation only allows for 1 business vehicle and 1 trailer. So they're coming for
What's the total size of the property?
5 acres, 5.06 acres, 5.03 acres. I'm sorry.
Very good. All right. Thank you, ma'am. If the applicant has anything they want to add, please come forward.
How you doing? I'm James Ray, and this is my wife Wanda Ray. We're the owners of WJJ Enterprise, and we've been operating up there since 2015, and this year we went to get our business license. We've got them every year, and it went this year, and this come up.
Nothing's changed at all with your business?
No change, no complaints. None of my neighbors has complained or nothing. I mean, everything's the same as it's been.
Very good. Board, anything you want to ask her?
I thought y'all's property was bigger than the 5 acres.
We do have
18 acres.
18 acres, but it's divided.
It's subdivided, but it's all together.
And the property, and all your equipment's parked back in the back.
It's actually in the back. Yeah,
In the
most
power
of-
line.
and we got a big easement, power line easement goes across our property too, and a gas line easement.
I want to make a point, it was more than just 5 acres. There's 18 acres.
Yeah.
There's 18
piled in
acres
there.
altogether.
So is the business on the 18 acres or on the?
The house is on the 5 acres.
Mm-hmm.
The equipment-
Actually, the address that the business licenses are in are
It's-
5 acre. It's in the house, our residential house.
I rode by it, you can't even tell there's a business there.
Like, nothing's in the front or not, I mean, it's,
No, I wouldn't have known it was there if it wouldn't have been for this.
Okay.
it's like last year during the storm. I was up at daylight pushing trees out of Blue Jay Road from Sand Hill to
Our house.
Hodgefield out the road for the sheriff department to keep them from cutting them up with my own equipment.
Yeah.
And now,
Fortunately, we have a lot of people
Appreciate
that do that. We
yeah, and
appreciate
that's
it.
what I said, now they don't want no equipment there.
I don't have any more questions.
I don't have any questions.
Very good. I don't have anything to add if you don't. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here for, please come forward. See none. Being anyone here not for, please come forward. As I see none, I'll close the public hearing, open up for discussion.
I don't, like I said, I don't have any problems, nobody's here complaining. If y'all don't have anything else to add, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay.
a little ahead of the ball game there.
Well, I was giving somebody time to respond, but
I
that's
was
okay.
gonna say that, it's not like a growing trucking company or anything like that. It's what I'd like to see in an agriculture area. A man doing his business, he's got his own stuff, he's got it in the back.
And he's not gonna have a lot of people coming and
Exactly.
going.
There's no neighbor complaints,
Yeah,
so.
no neighbor complaints.
Why not?
I've known James all my life. He's been he's a one-man gang kind
Yeah,
of, so. I
and that's
mean, he
fine.
doesn't-
That's what this is designed for
Yes.
that kind of thing like that. So I have no problem with it.
Very good. Well, no further discussion. Let's entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, to approve.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Second reading, consideration to approve the second reading for an application
I didn't wanna
by
give
Wanda
everybody
Ray
an opportunity to speak.
for conditional use to allow for residential business in AR1 located at 2672 Blue Jay Road, map number 373A, parcel number 6 in the 4th District. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 9 is a public hearing, consideration to approve an application by Randall Thompson for conditional use to allow for a residential business in AR2 located at 2265 Georgia Highway 119 South, map number 320, parcel number 50D in the 3rd District.
Thank you. Kimberly Bartlett, Senior Planner. The applicant is requesting approval of a conditional use permit to operate a residential hardscaping business specializing in patios and pavers. The applicant currently holds a business license and operates primarily in Chatham County. The trucks and trailers used for the business are driven home daily and stored on the property. Equipment stored at the residence includes 1 truck, 1 excavator, 3 trailers, and 1 skid steer, all located in the rear yard. The equipment is not permanently stored on site as is regularly transported to and from active job sites. The applicant is seeking the opportunity to expand and grow the business within Effingham County. No on-site signage, only magnetic signage on the work truck. No current employees, though the applicant may hire an additional employee in the future. No clients currently visit the site, however, this may occur in the future. Operating days and hours vary depending on job availability. There was a code enforcement complaint regarding an unlicensed business and equipment on the property. Based on the progress made toward compliance, the case has been closed at this time. The subject property is zoned AR2, which permits certain low-intensity, non-residential activities through a conditional use process. The request is consistent with the future land use map and aligns with the intent of agricultural residential zoning district. Due to the parcel's size, rural setting, and limited operational intensity, the proposed use is not expected to adversely affect surrounding properties or substantially alter the rural character of the area. Additionally, Georgia Highway 119 South is designated as a truck route, making it suitable for this type of vehicular traffic. If approved, the request should be subject to the following stipulations. An Effingham County occupational tax certificate shall be obtained and kept in good standing. All applicable zoning and development standards must be met, including but not limited to setbacks, access requirement, and any departmental review standards. The conditional use approval applies only to the owner-operated residential business as described in the application. Any expansion of the business, addition of employees, or significant increase in customer traffic may require additional review and approval by Effingham County. Outdoor storage associated with the business shall be limited to 1 commercial truck, 3 commercial trailers, and no more than 2 pieces of heavy equipment. All business-related vehicles, trailers, and equipment shall be stored in the rear yard only and screened from adjacent properties and public right-of-ways where practical. Thank you.
Good, thank you, ma'am. If Mr. Thompson is here, or a representative, would like to come forward and add anything, please do.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to note, based off this photo, we did pick up a lot of the backyard. That was recently done per code enforcement. The neighbor adjacent to us has also put up a fence shielding that property that's closest to us from where the opposed area to store the equipment would be stored. That fence runs at the far back left corner from about their driveway and about 60 to 80 feet down my left portion of my property, both shielding their property from sight as well as my equipment from their property.
Very good. Any questions from the board? Going once, going twice. Okay. Good deal. Thanks, sir. Anyone else here for? Please come forward. Anyone here opposed? Please come forward. Very good. One at a time.
Can we be both for and against?
You can be whatever you want to be.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you. Hi, my name is Mark Jacobs. I subdivided this property several years ago, and some of the property has been sold to builders, and lot number one has ended up with the folks, and I'm all for them having a business there. As owner of 3.5 acres in the back of the property, as well as will be represented by the folks that are right next to them. The property has been cleaned up, yes, give them credit for that. But I have pictures presently I could share, could go overhead if needed. But anyway, the equipment that will be there is not the issue. It's the screening to preclude view of what's back there. There's concrete blocks, there's a 40-yard dumpster, 40-yard dumpster back there. That may be there just temporarily while they clean up, but it's not been completed. There's pictures of cinder blocks and other construction material that has remained back there to this point. So I don't understand why, if I heard correctly, that the complaint has been resolved, because it's not been cleaned up. As somebody that's going to want to drive by there and have a decent-looking neighborhood, we did not implement any HOA requirements because some folks don't want an HOA, and that's okay. But we need to have respect for each other and not create this landfill that's basically back there. Debris coming off of jobs that haven't been disposed of, and no telling how long it will remain there. It definitely has come down. There were piles of trees that the owner had to remove, and those eventually came down and were disposed of, so credit for that. The fence that was put up, I'll hope I don't preempt the other person here. An 80-foot by 40-foot fence was put up to preclude the people in the home looking out and seeing that. It does not resolve the problem, but they spent their money to do that. You still have, from the right-hand middle back, the right-hand side, if you're looking at the picture, the right-hand side, unfenced, up the side, on the bottom of the picture is unfenced, and all you see when you're coming in is the debris back there. So I'm for the gentleman having a business there and approving it. The number of equipment and such is outside the guidelines, as I understand it, for what's allowed back there. I don't think that's going to be a problem as long as we enforce the screening requirement immediately before anything else is allowed to happen there. If it doesn't get done now, it's not going to get done. And there's a 20-foot setback requirement. I was looking through the Muni code on it. I believe there's a 20-foot setback requirement from the edge of the property. That's not that big a deal. He doesn't make noise. I live further back from him, so I don't hear noise, but it's the visual. And if there's any possibility of allowing the placement of a home for sale sign up at the road, we have to use an easement that's next to his property. And it has been an ongoing issue that we can't even put a home for sale sign if one of us wants to sell a property, because he owns the whole front property, but we have a 60-foot easement that there's a crusher run driveway that we have access to our 4 properties in the back. We have a mailbox up there. The garbage has to be carried up there. And he will not even allow, he'll take down a for sale sign, which keeps any of us from being able to sell our property back there. So I'm for it.
Go over that again now. What about the sign?
Yeah. It's affecting the people that'll speak next specifically, but if I want to sell my 3.5 acres back there, I can't put a sign, a for sale sign, at the front of the property on the road without the lot number 1 homeowner tearing it down and calling the county, calling the DOT, and them telling us we can't do that. So it's not asking much, but we need to be good neighbors, but that's not happening. I was the original owner of the properties, divided it, and had difficulty with the visibility, with how that properties looked from years ago. Couldn't do anything about it. Now we have an opportunity to do it. Let him have his business, but enforce the screening requirements. Whether say good fences make good neighbors.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, you would like a fence put up if this is gonna be the case?
Yeah, which is part of the code requirement under screening, but not to delay that happening based upon history.
Gotcha. Understood. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name
And
is
ma'am.
Dan Webster,
Mhm.
and we own Southern Yankee Homes. And we bought two pieces of parcels of land from him. And the first parcel is like an L-shaped lot, and his lot comes right into the front of our 50-foot to the house. We even went as far as, this is after 4 months of him saying he was gonna clean it up. And the other building on the other side, he finally sold and got out. We asked him if we can clean up the corner, because there was all junk. So we had our landscaper go over there for a day and took a whole dump load out and cleaned it up. And then he put all his equipment, and it's 50 feet from our front door of the house we're selling. Now, we built a house, and we're old school, and we never had a problem selling a house. This house has been finished since October, and it's costing a holding cost for this house. And he just keeps bringing mess. And we're trying to be, like, respectful of each other. And we tried to talk to him, and then he just got, like, nasty. And it was like, so like I'm saying, it's costing us $2,000 a month to hold this house since October when we finished it. And we started the house in July. And then we built a second house, and we already sold that one. And we put the fence up. It cost me $3,000 because, and then he
To
put all his
block-
equipment right there. And
to
he even
block
has
the
a
view.
pontoon boat.
That's personal.
He got all kinds of, it just keeps bringing more, and then there's still all kinds of broken concrete. And then one time, a realtor came in and looked at the property, and they loved the house, but they took pictures of his property and asked what's going on. And then he calls us nasty up and tells us we can't control an agent going there. And then the right of way, like I says, the other guy, was selling the properties, and there was Mark, and it was like 4 properties. He had a big 4x8 sign from Keller Williams. Now, because code enforcement told him to clean it up, he said we couldn't put a sign up there. And then it was okay for the county, but then it's a state road, then we had to go to DOT, and we can't even put a open house sign.
I thought realtor signs were exempt from that.
And we don't put it near the road because they don't want it near the road because of, you gotta keep it back. But we can't even put a sign up now, and it's,
A couple things. One, it's it would have to be on their property, right? And so that's what we're going to look at. What the easements rights are, we're going to leave it up to the parties to determine. And in this particular case, if they push it out to the right of way, we have no control over it because that would be GDOT.
well, like I said, Keller Williams, when he first listed, there was 4 properties, 4 pieces of land, they had a 4x8 sign up there.
Good.
And like I said, we went as far as we cleaned up the corner. We took a whole dump load trailer out, and our landscaper took it away. And then our landscaper was gonna ask him to help clean it up and charge him. And then he said he didn't wanna pay. So then when he put all the equipment there, people come in there and say, what is all this equipment? And 50 feet away from the front door. So we put an 80 by 40 L-shape, because it's an L-shaped lot. And we've been trying to sell this since, and we finished in October.
But
And
even,
we always have no problem selling. It's because we're old school. And everybody says the house is beautiful. They can't stand that mess. And I think if he had a business, we had another house on low ground, they were gonna put a hemp farm.
You don't have to. go
Anyways,
into-
so they had to put a fence around. They had to put a fence around. And our house is right next to it. And it was Spanish people from New York.
You don't.
Well, anyways, they had to put a fence around it. And I think if he's gonna have a business and all that junk, he should have to put a fence, you know, just respect the other people.
Sure.
It's an eyesore as you're driving up to it.
The land and the place is beautiful out there. It's
So you feel it's
off-road.
an eyesore and having an impact on the value of your property as it sits right now?
Correct.
And we've been, this property for almost a year now, and it's
Understood.
killing us.
Understood.
And I just, we try to work with them, just respect the other people. That's all we want. And then Mark, he's been the owner, like I said, he had all the lots, and he just did the same thing. We just want respect the other people.
Absolutely. That's what zoning ordinance is for.
And so we just came to state that because it's a mess, and he just keeps telling us another story, and then he just gives a hard time. And like, he even called the police when we had an open house sign. And then the cop said it's
2 hours.
okay, and then he went to this, and it's a state road, then he came back and said, we gotta take it down.
Right. Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here opposed? I'll allow you to follow up. I'm going to close the public hearing now and bring it to our board. Come on forward. I'm sure there's going to be some questions for you. So.
I would like to note that the other two houses were built around the same time and did sell. We are actually friends with those neighbors. One is a veterinarian. There are 2 Pooler PD officers that live in the far back house, which was the other house that they had built. All parcels had been sold with my property having a much greater pile than what has been there over the last year. There were more trees. We slowly took some out. I worked a lot. So cleaning stuff up has been kind of hard, and we've got it to a manageable point now that we can keep taking care of that. But the parcels were sold. They did purchase that parcel with my property looking as such, as well as other houses selling except for this one.
Are you bringing debris onto your property?
No, sir. Other than
Concrete stuff
paver,
come from?
other than pavers that I had purchased that may be left over from this job, I have a few pallets of pavers. The gravel gets put down on my property to help maintain the road, help maintain where I've parked my equipment.
Have you put up a fence?
I have not put up a fence.
How
We
long
have
has- How long has this
some.
been going on?
I've owned the property since October 15th of '24, and I've grown about June of '25, so about 6 to 9 months.
Do you think a fence would eliminate a lot of the?
No, sir. I've got no problem putting a fence up. All of my neighbors, I talked to them. We sent text messages out to get my other neighbors out here. Both PD officers had to work. One of my neighbors' granddaughters broke her arm, is in the hospital, and the other neighbor's out of town. So I couldn't get the other neighbors here to say on that.
Yeah.
I wish I could get mission statements from them,
What
but
are do we have anything in our ordinance for this type of business that has to contain their business so it maintains the character of the residential area? Is there anything? Was it supposed to be behind like a fence or something? Was it, I thought there was some verbiage.
Screening, but there's no specific how it's screened.
So screening, so any business supplies, for example, pavers, should not be viewable from public view. Okay.
Can you go back to the picture, the oversight? Sorry. Like looking down on it? What's all the debris in the back? I mean, I understand the concern. There's just piles of debris. Is that coming in
So
from jobs?
There was a pecan tree that was in the middle of the roadway when we first bought the property. Part of that debris is that pecan tree. There were also 3 pine trees at the front right corner on 119 that also came down. All of that pile of wood came down from the property, and we had chopped it up in smaller pieces, sorted the wood. There was a larger pile in the center. On the far left side, just above the plot number, that's wood left over from, or an unfinished fence. You can kind of see that I haven't.
And that's all concrete?
Those are pallets of pavers. They are still wrapped from the factory on pallets and organized in my tree line.
So cutting to the chase here, how do you intend to, if approved, screen your business from your property, from your neighbors?
So the far right side has a chain link. I could put a fence from front to rear screening from the right side. On the back, the easement passes through it.
I believe you're gonna be required to do this, not
Okay.
could. And just geographically, I'm using your house here drawing as an example. Where are you containing your business to? Is it spread out throughout the entire property there? Isn't there a certain amount of square footage allowed for this business use?
700
I'm sorry?
700 square feet.
Okay. Would you be able to function your business within 700 square feet?
With the pavers or trailers and stuff like that? I'm not understanding.
700 square feet, right? The business as a whole?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got a 40-foot trailer that I think the deck is more than 700 square feet.
Just going back to the fencing, you have no problem doing that?
Not a problem, sir.
Okay.
Is there a specific fence that would it 6 feet, 8 feet?
Something somebody can't see through, I would advise.
Okay, absolutely.
Fences make great neighbors, as the saying goes. And, you know, there's a reason, as kids, we used to stuff stuff under our beds when we said we cleaned our room.
Yes, sir.
All right. Open up for discussion for the board here.
Thank you.
No, I'm fine with moving forward with, I'm good with moving forward with putting the fence up around the perimeter. I mean, if that's, it seems like that's part of our,
To add that condition.
I mean, is it really adding a condition? Because that's really,
Part of the condition.
it's already
for it
there.
is. So does he need to get with staff? He needs to get with you guys to
Sure, the fence.
advise around where he's gonna be doing his business operations at. He can fence however much he wants to, but I guess as long as it's enclosed, with the business
Out of view of the
operations, I'll
neighbors,
read
yes.
the ordinance anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's just he's surrounded on all sides, so he's got to do a lot of screening, right?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have to put a fence
then if he
up
backed up to
completely around
woods.
the perimeter of whatever he's trying, enclosing for the business side of things.
Now, a lot of debris, if it's not business related,
That's what I was asking.
if he did not get his approval tonight, we still can't control what it looks like back there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we don't have that
Right, but I mean, he's come before us now wanting a.
Yeah,
a
no, I agree.
business.
Yeah.
So,
What bothers me is, he's had an opportunity to work with his neighbors and he just hadn't done it. I don't know why, and why we have to go to this length to get here to get a fence. My neighbor does landscaping and he brings trimmings and stuff back from his place, but he's got a privacy fence.
Yeah.
So I don't care what he does.
I think it's hard for us to say what transpired between the neighbors without actually being there. Just we have testimony as to each.
I can see there's no fence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad. That home is facing his backyard. It's kind of a,
Yeah,
there's only so much.
Yeah,
I
you can
just,
do.
you know me, I'm against this. I just feel like where we just talked to the Rays is everything, as Roger said, is what it's designed to do. They've got a large piece of property. None of the neighbors are bothered. They can hide their stuff. They've apparently operated there for all those years and nobody cares. To me, there's just too much here. This is more of a residential area. It's closer property. You just got a total different situation here. And it's just gonna this is not something I'd wanna live next to if I bought a house in a neighborhood like this. You've got people that's gonna come in and out. He's said he wants to increase the business, so that's gonna be even more possible problems. I just think if we've got to go to all this to hide it, then it means it shouldn't be there. And I also question whether he can do it in 700 feet. considering everything he's talking about storing there and the trailers and all that kind of business. I don't even know if that can be possible. And it can't be possible because I don't think this type of business was designed to be here.
The wrong side.
It's the wrong site. I wish you well with your business. Apparently you have a good one. But I just think that this type of business needs to be at another location. It doesn't belong in a residential subdivision like this is. That's just me.
No, I agree with you. I'm familiar with that area as most of us, all of us are, and that is definitely residential through there. But no, I agree with you. I think there's a lot going on there.
No,
No,
I
and
think
I
we're
don't.
two opposites here.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. You know, the only reason I was this was possibly a way to just get the backyard screen for the neighbors, but
But I don't think it'll solve the
I know,
problem.
but it's not. I
I
know.
don't think it'll
know.
solve the problem.
You're right.
Anyone want to issue a motion or any more discussion? I'll entertain it.
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
Second.
I'll second. Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Thank you.
So no need for the second reading. That takes us back to new business, items 7. Correct. Sir? He should. Whenever this happens, if you see there's no, right, that's what I was gonna tell you. What is our procedure, Pamela, on this? If you, hold on 1 minute, sir. She's trying to answer. Okay. Code enforcement will follow up for compliance, is what I understand. Well, we're here now, and it's been denied as a permanent structure, so thank you.
But no one from the county is going to come clean it
Yeah,
up for him. We don't
I'm-
have any right to
yeah.
enter the property, so, yeah, yeah.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Okay, new business item number 7 is an annexation. You're welcome. Consideration to acknowledge a petition for annexation is submitted by the city of Springfield for properties owned by Judy Robinson Reeser and et al., consisting of approximately 116.87 acres located off Highway 119 South, map number 344, parcel number 233A, 3B01, 3B03, 3B04, and 4 in the 3rd district.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Oh,
You want me to make a motion or what?
I would encourage us to also table these items and maybe someone from the city can.
Yeah, ask for a representative to come in.
We know
Want me to go
it's,
ahead and just make a motion?
Yeah,
Not that I'm
for both.
opposed or anything.
and we used to have that.
Y'all
We
care if I
used
make
to-
a motion for both?
Go ahead. Well,
I think we have to do them individually.
Each one?
do each
All right.
one to keep it clean.
Okay, I'll entertain that motion, James.
Well, I'll do the one, because that other one's in your district.
Okay.
Yeah, so for item 7, I'll make a motion to table to the next meeting, to get some additional information.
All right, that's June 2nd.
June 2nd is the next meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Uh,
Unopposed, motion carries. Item 8, consideration to acknowledge a petition for annexation submitted by the city of Springfield for properties owned by Douglas Edwards, consisting of approximately 9.44 total acres located off Ebenezer Road, map number 446, parcel number 41 and 47 in the 4th district.
It's actually in the 5th district, yeah. And I'll make a motion to also table this item to
Okay.
June
Second.
2nd.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, that motion carries. All right.
Ebenezer Creek.
Yeah, it's the creek.
All right, moving into reports from commissioners, administrative staff. Tim, we'll lead off with you.
Yeah.
Kind of power line-ish over there.
Weird.
I've got no report. I do have, other than to say that we have been working with you all individually. I think there is just one individual budget meeting that we have to have, and we will be having the budget for first reading. So if you've got any feedback from what we've discussed in our individual meetings, by all means, get them back to us. But we will have it presented with a presentation on the 2nd. That's all I got.
Very good. Commissioner Floyd?
We had the big grand opening of Meldrum Park, had a good turnout. I want to thank staff, mainly, I don't know who all was involved. I know Seth was the person I was talking to all the time, and Trey, but it just turned out really good. People are really happy about what we're doing with the parks.
Very good. Commissioner Burdette?
Just wanted to do a check-in on updating the ordinance for the ADUs to be used like the camper thing. See how far we're along with that, or that's going to be coming before us anytime soon.
The, yeah, you want to, that's the ADUs for temporary, wait, you're talking about using accessory dwelling unit as a temporary residence during construction. That's what we talked about in the previous meeting. And we'll hopefully we'll have something to you either by the next meeting or the next workshop.
Okay, great. And one more thing. We talked about it today.
I'm trying to charge it, but I just didn't get around.
Everything else we covered today. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very good. Commissioner Deloach?
Just a few quick things. One, what you just said. So what we talked about in our budget meetings, I guess obviously before we talk about it at the next meeting, if there's any feedback from any department heads we need to know about, I guess obviously you'll let us know.
We will. So we'll hopefully we'll be able to, you know, a lot of times the schedule's tight, right?
Yeah.
And so of us, Mark's up there right now. I locked the door and he's hammering away at it. And
Yeah.
so if we can get the draft out to him at least a few days as early as we can, so we can get feedback from staff. But we really did try and make our best efforts to accommodate the request. It was a little challenging this year because of the volume of the requests, but hopefully we won't have much kickback.
Okay. The other thing is, and I don't know, I've got some time tomorrow or Thursday. I just wanted to get with you on kind of my thoughts on SPLOST percentages with everything, just let you know my reasoning and what I was thinking, and
Okay.
you can tell me if I'm crazy or not, but I just wanted to run that by you, have that conversation. And last, Clint, thanks for you and your team. I know y'all were fighting fire last night around Ardmore, and that seems to be a, pretty big spot here lately up in that area. So thanks for what y'all do. That's all I got.
You always steal my stuff, man. Commissioner Helmy?
Just glad to see, and of course, this is going in my district, and Jamie's, Stillwell Clove getting paved. It's looking good, much better. So glad to see that. Glad to see it happen, and basically, everything else is, I guess, rocking along okay.
Very good. Mr. Kiefer?
One thing, and I know EOM is not here. When they go through on the roads with the boom axe, do they come in and cleaning up behind them any? Because
I don't
know
think
some
they
it
do.
looks like a tornado come
I
through.
don't think they do.
Maybe Jonathan knows. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have a great answer. I can get with EOM. They should be.
Okay. I just got a photo from someone on Woodland Drive, and it does look like a tornado.
Yeah, we'll reach
I
out to.
I'm pretty sure I've asked them before.
Yeah.
It was a spot around Shawnee where it had not been cut in a long time, and it was terrible. And they came back and they cleaned it up.
Yeah,
But I don't think
it'll take much.
I think it's
to do,
regular.
What was the road again?
Woodland.
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 Okay.
Off Ebenezer.
I'll send an email.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Good. Thank you. I really don't have anything to add. Forrest, Jamie covered my topic, so that's it. If actually, we just briefly to discuss what you and I discussed. I just need the commissioners for just a minute. That's it. And then I'll get us out of here. So with that, entertain a motion to go to executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel, property, and pending litigation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you guys for coming out. We'll